I raise dinosaurs in the apocalypse. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 276, Insidious Tactics. Under the stimulation of the machete on his back, Lin Kong successfully woke up. Therefore, when Li Minutes looked at Lin Kong again, Lin Kong had already returned to normal. Zhu Linyun, this woman, is too dangerous, and she must be eliminated. Lin Kong cast his eyes on Zhu Linyun. Next, Zhu Linyun will fight with Shen Zhu. Lin Kong must seize the opportunity to find Zhu Linyun's flaws in order to plan a plan to attack Zhu Linyun. Barefoot Zhu Linyun was seen holding a high-heeled shoe heel in each of his left and right hands. It was like holding two daggers. The fixed-point suppression force that was originally condensed on Zhu Linyun's palms also slowly moved to the heels in his hands. "Do you think I will let you go after you kneel down and kowtow? Ha ha ha, naive." Zhu Linyun laughed wildly. Shen Zhu, who was kneeling on the ground, raised her tearful face and trembled in her voice. "What do you want to do?" "Of course I want to." Zhu Linyun raised the heels in both hands. Suddenly turning around, Zhu Linyun's hands quickly waved at those zombie friends. Puff puff puff. The heel in his hand poked 4 times in a row. Because these heels were attached with black fixed-point suppression force, the attack power was greatly improved. The originally extremely hard skull was easily pierced like tofu. The heel was 10 centimeters long, enough to penetrate the skull and then pierce into the brain. Once the fragile brain was pierced by the heel, the consequences were self-evident. Bang 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 bang. The 4 zombie friends fell down in unison. Zhu Linyun's speed of attack was really too fast. Shen Zhu just stood up and found that the foreheads of the 4 zombie friends were all opened with a bloody hole by Zhu Linyun's heel. There was black dirty blood flowing out of the bloody hole. The eyes of the zombie friends quickly dimmed. Dead. In an instant, the 4 zombie friends were killed by Zhu Linyun. Anger, like the lava of a volcanic eruption, filled Shen Zhu's chest. The ponytail on the back of her head even defied the gravity of the earth and stood up. "I kill you." Shen Zhu pulled her fist back, and a strong black oppressive force wrapped around her fist. Swish. With the blessing of anger, her speed broke through the original limit. Shen Zhu's body turned into a white shadow. This white shadow had only one target. That was Zhu Linyun. A punch that gathered all the strength directly hit Zhu Linyun. However, although Shen Zhu's speed had broken through her own limit, she was still no match for Zhu Linyun. Her punch was also full of flaws. Zhu Linyun just lightly sidestepped and dodged the punch. At the same time, Zhu Linyun's mouth curled up a strange smile. When she sidestepped, she also reached out to grab to the side. What she wanted to grab was not Shen Zhu's body, but the last remaining zombie friend. Zhu Linyun was a level 4 new human, and that zombie friend was only level 3. The difference in level was 1 level, so the difference in strength was huge. Therefore, Zhu Linyun just grabbed the zombie friend casually. Then, Zhu Linyun did something extremely insidious. That was to grab the zombie friend and throw it towards Shen Zhu. However, Shen Zhu was just punching Zhu Linyun angrily. So, the original text is in Liu number 9 / The tragedy happened. Bang! The punch that Shen Zhu originally hit at Zhu Linyun blew up the head of the zombie friend. As a level 4 new human, Shen Zhu, the head of the zombie friend, naturally could not withstand Shen Zhu's full-strength punch. When the zombie friend was suddenly thrown in front of her, because of excessive anger, Shen Zhu had no time to retract her fist. Moreover, Zhu Linyun had already thought of this step. She waited until Shen Zhu rushed to her, and at the last critical moment, she threw the zombie friend in front of Shen Zhu. Zhu Linyun was calm. Shen Zhu was overwhelmed by anger. Zhu Linyun had superb fighting skills and quick reactions. Shen Zhu was wearing sportswear, but she was just a running enthusiast and had basically never learned any fighting. The difference between the two was obvious. Although they were both at the same level 4, Zhu Linyun completely defeated Shen Zhu in this first confrontation. Shen Zhu looked at the zombie friend who was killed by her own hands. She was originally angry, but suddenly she was stunned on the spot. How could it be? How could it be? How could this happen? I What did I do? Shenzhou looked at the fist that blew up her friend's head and muttered to herself in disbelief. The anger in her heart, like a volcanic eruption, was suddenly filled with endless self-blame. The black point suppression force wrapped on the fist also dissipated silently because Shenzhou lost her fighting spirit. Lin Kong looked at Shenzhou's shocked look and shook his head secretly. The psychological quality of this sportswear girl is really too poor. The death of the zombie friend was all Zhu Linian's trick, and Shenzhou should not blame herself. She should continue to fight with Zhu Linian at this moment and turn grief into strength. Lin Kong originally thought that Shenzhou would fight back and forth with Zhu Linian. As a result, in the first round, Shenzhou's will to fight was completely defeated by Zhu Linian. Plop! Shenzhou knelt on her knees with a sad face. She hugged her head with both hands. She wanted to cry, but she couldn't cry out. Finally, Shenzhou banged and threw her face deeply into the mud on the ground. Zhu Linian curled her lips and shrugged her shoulders. This is really boring. Zhu Linian had already pulled out the heels of her high heels. She originally wanted to fight Shenzhou seriously. In the end, Shenzhou was defeated just like that. Alas, this little girl's willpower is even worse than that of the men who lick her. Thinking of the 3 words lick her, Zhu Linian turned her head and cast her eyes on Lin Kong. Her seductive lips showed a grim smile, and she thought of another interesting idea. Come on, now Kong, kill her. To be honest, Lin Kong didn't expect Zhu Linian to be so calm when fighting. What's more, what Lin Kong didn't expect was that Zhu Linian actually asked him to kill Shenzhou. Lin Kong's face became gloomy. He crossed his arms and said in a cold tone, I have no grudges against her and don't want to kill her. If you want to kill her, kill her. Don't involve me. Although Lin Kong didn't want to save Shenzhou, he didn't want to take her life with his own hands. Chapter 277 Should I kill Shenzhou? Zhu Linian hates slickers like Wu Fei and Fang Guonan. However, she hates men like Lin Kong who don't come to lick her even more. Therefore, when Lin Kong decisively rejected her request, Zhu Linian's eyes were suddenly filled with murderous intent. Okay, if you don't kill her, I'll kill you. The air around him also solidified with Zhu Linian's words. Lin Kong didn't reply immediately. He looked directly into Zhu Linian's eyes and hesitated. Wu Fei felt Zhu Linian's murderous aura and wanted to stand over to help Lin Kong. However, he was reluctant to fight against the stunning beauty Zhu Linian. Li Minutes had no burden. She stepped forward decisively and stood with Lin Kong, proving her attitude with her actions. Once Lin Kong started the fight, she would follow Lin Kong without hesitation to attack Zhu Linian. The cowardly, Zhuge corpse, silently stepped back a few steps. In fact, this, Zhuge corpse, had a good impression of Shenzhou, but it was too afraid of the powerful Zhu Linian. At the same time, the 3 pink-clad men who were hurrying along finally arrived within a kilometer of Lin Kong. The water mirror formed by the future water finally had a picture of Lin Kong, completely different from the worried Lin Kong and his group. The pink-clad men were worried about Zhu Linian's safety. Alas, such a beautiful girl, why did she have to mess with that dinosaur breeder? She will definitely die today. The pink-clad men were reluctant to let Zhu Linian's life end like this. The 2 lovers of the pink-clad men were gloating. It's better to die. This kind of scumbag who regards men as licking dogs doesn't deserve to live in this world. Yes, such a scumbag has ruined the reputation of us women. She looks so beautiful on the outside, but she is so ugly on the inside. She should die quickly. The 3 pink-clad men, because of the prediction of the future water, were convinced that Lin Kong would win absolutely. However, Lin Kong felt that it was not a wise choice to take action at this moment. Zhu Linian has 4 level 4 catchiness and 1 level 3 hurricane pterosaur. In terms of level, Zhu Linian has an absolute advantage. Moreover, Wu Fei, Zi Wang and others are also deeply obsessed with beauty and cannot extricate themselves, and their combat effectiveness has been seriously weakened. It doesn't matter if they are weakened. What Lin Kong is most worried about is that Wu Fei and Zi Wang may even attack him under Zhu Linian's order. If Wu Fei attacks him, should he fight back? In the battle, swords have no eyes. What if he accidentally kills Wu Fei? In terms of numbers, Zhu Linian also crushes Lin Kong's side. In short, Starting a war now is definitely a bad choice from Lin Kong's perspective. Besides, Lin Kong doesn't need to sacrifice his own life and the lives of his companions for Shen Zhu, who regards zombies as friends. Previously, Shen Zhu attacked the kitsunes in order to find the zombie friend that fell. This crazy behavior, in Lin Kong's view, is really stupid. So, after thinking about it, Lin Kong made a decision. Then kill Shen Zhu. Anyway, such a brain-dead girl will not live long in this cruel apocalypse. Why not let me end her life early? Lin Kong apologized to Zhu Linian for his rude behavior just now. Then, he pulled out the nine-ring broadsword on his back. Lin Kong walked to the side of Shen Zhu. He raised the knife in his hand. The 9 steel rings on the back of the nine-ring broadsword collided, making a crisp sound of ding ding dang dang. At this moment, the 9-ring broadsword was aimed at Shen Zhu's neck. Shen Zhu was still immersed in great guilt and did not notice Lin Kong's arrival at all. Lin Kong only needed to chop down with one knife, and Shen Zhu's head would be cut off. Squad leader Lin Minutes suddenly spoke. Li Minutes wanted to stop Lin Kong's behavior. However, she also understood Lin Kong's embarrassing situation. If he let Shen Zhu go because of a moment of mercy, everyone would have to face Zhu Linian, a powerful enemy. 4 wind god pterosaurs and 1 winged pterosaur hovered above the heads of the crowd. Their huge bodies almost blocked out the midday sun. A heavy haze enveloped the hearts of Li Minutes, Wu Fei, and Zi Wang. Li Minutes did not continue to persuade them. She fell silent. Li Minutes looked at Wu Fei and found that there was not only no pity in Wu Fei's eyes, but also a look of expectation, hoping that Lin Kong would immediately kill Shen Zhu who offended Zhu Linian. The original text is available at Liu number 9/. Lin Kong clenched the 9-ring broadsword with both hands. He stood in position and was about to take action. At this time, the midday sun shone on the sharp blade. Then, the sunlight was reflected into Lin Kong's eyes through the smooth blade. It was so dazzling he quickly lowered his head. Lin Kong stared at Shen Zhu's neck. This neck exposed in front of him was a little familiar. Suddenly, Lin Kong remembered the scene of killing the jumping zombie in Orange Village. That time, Lin Kong was just an ordinary person, but that jumping zombie was a level 2 mutant zombie. In order to save the Tyrannosaurus Rex, Lin Kong had to muster up his courage and get close to the jumping zombie. That day, Lin Kong nervously held a hatchet and decisively chopped the exposed neck of the jumping zombie. That knife made Lin Kong own a Tyrannosaurus Rex. That knife changed Lin Kong's life. From then on, he left the small orange village and no longer took risks for a small winter melon. That knife was not a slaughter of the weak by the strong, but a knife chopped by the weak against the strong. Therefore, the sunset that day was particularly beautiful. Lin Kong's thoughts returned from memory to reality. At this moment, Shen Zhu, who was not prepared at all, knelt on the ground, exposing her neck, and Lin Kong's hands once again clenched the knife. As far as the current situation is concerned, Shen Zhu is a weak person, and Lin Kong is a strong person holding a butcher knife. However, Lin Kong now is no longer the Lin Kong in Orange Village. He swung his arm, the sword fell, swish. A flash of white light passed by. Looking at Lin Kong's action of chopping with a sword, Zhu Linian was very satisfied. Although Lin Kong looked like a tough guy before, but as long as he was slightly threatened by himself, in the end, he was just a softie. Zhu Linian's heart was full of disdain for Lin Kong. However, 2 seconds passed. Zhu Linian found that there was no blood gushing out of Shen Zhu's neck. Looking more carefully, Zhu Linian found that there was no blood on Lin Kong's 9-ring sword. In other words, Lin Kong didn't chop Shen Zhu's neck at all. Chapter 278 Preparing to kill Zhu Linian. Do you really think I dare not kill you? Seeing Lin Kong pretending to behead him, Zhu Linian narrowed his eyes and said in a sinister voice. The air around them became a little colder again. Everyone present was highly focused. Li Minutes quietly took out the dagger on her thigh. Although she was a level 3 new human, her yes or no was not a superpower to improve her combat effectiveness. However, she was willing to fight with Zhu Linian, not only to help squad leader Lin, but also to save her bewildered boyfriend Wu Fei. Only by joining forces with squad leader Lin to kill Zhu Linian, Could Wu Feigang return to normal? Wu Feigang and Zi Wang swallowed their saliva. They didn't want Zhu Linian and Lin Kong to fight. After all, the beautiful Zhu Linian was the most perfect goddess in their minds, and Lin Kong was their savior. Lin Kong, holding the nine-ringed sword, turned around with a sinister look on his face. He made a very sinister suggestion to Zhu Linian. Miss Zhu Linian, don't you think it's too easy for her to be killed like this? She beat your wind god pteranodons and just now threatened to kill you. How can such a heinous woman be allowed to die so easily? Zhu Linian raised her eyebrows, and the murderous intent in her eyes became less. What do you mean? Lin Kong summoned the 7 black balls that were completely black, and then let the end of the 7 black balls that sprayed cold air aim at Shen Zhu. Why don't we seal her first? And then, he slowly gave the 7 black balls an attack order. 7 black freeze, launch. A blue cold air sprayed out from one end of the 7 black balls. Shen Zhu, who was in a state of great self-blame, was still kneeling on the ground crying silently. Although Shen Zhu was a level 4 new human, she had no defense. So, crack, the 7 black balls, 7 black freeze, quickly froze Shen Zhu's entire body into a huge ice ball. Lin Kong, who had been strengthened by the Triceratops, dinosaur possession, stretched out his hands. He held the huge ice ball that froze Shen Zhu, and with a dong, placed it in front of Zhu Linian. My 7 black balls are only level 3, not enough to freeze her to death directly. So, Shen Zhu is still alive at this moment. Miss Zhu Linian, she just threatened you. You must not let her have an easy time. How about this? We keep killing zombies in front of Shen Zhu. Ha ha ha. Isn't this a good idea? Lin Kong's face showed an evil and happy smile. Zhu Linian's eyes lit up when he heard Lin Kong's idea, and the murderous intent around him disappeared without a trace. Zhu Linian came over and patted Lin Kong on the shoulder, laughing and praising. Ha ha ha. Right. Just in front of this brain-dead girl. Keep killing her zombie friends. Make her uncomfortable, make her helpless, and make her dare not do anything to me even if she is angry. Now Kong, your idea is very good, very good. Originally, Zhu Linian hated Lin Kong, a man who did not lick her. Now, Zhu Linian saw Lin Kong trying to please her licking dog. Refreshing. Zhu Linian felt a sense of satisfaction in her heart. On the surface, she praised Lin Kong's brilliant idea cheerfully, but in fact, she despised Lin Kong in her heart. When she first met him, she thought there would really be real men in the world who would not lick her. As a result, all men in the world are just lowly licking dogs. Of course, men are licking dogs, and other women in the world are not much different. They are just ugly and vulgar people. To be honest, sometimes Zhu Linian would feel a sense of loneliness that there is no beauty in a high place. In the world, there is no other woman whose beauty can compare with hers. Alas, how lonely it is to be invincible. Zhu Linian sighed in her heart. She collected her feelings, cast her eyes on Lin Kong, and ordered, "Then why don't you find more zombies quickly?" "Okay, beautiful Miss Zhu Linian." Lin Kong looked like he was trying to please Zhu Linian. He turned around and called Li Minutes, Wu Feigang, Zi Wang, Zhu Shi, and others to go find zombies around. Seeing Lin Kong and his group leave together, Zhu Linian was immediately unhappy. Separate and search, it will be faster. Lin Kong listened and nodded to Zhu Linian and said, yes, search separately. Lin Kong then divided everyone into 2 groups. Wu Feigang, you and Zi Wang team up to find zombies. Li Minutes, One-Eyed Boy and I will search together. There are too many mutant beasts here. You have to pay more attention and don't spread out too much, so that at least you can take care of each other. Just when Lin Kong was about to leave with Li Minutes and Zhuge Corpse, suddenly, Zhu Linian's shout came from behind. Now Kong, wait, what's the matter? Lin Kong turned around, feeling uneasy. Could it be that Zhu Linian realized his real plan? However, what Zhu Linian said next proved that Zhu Linian did not realize Lin Kong's real intention. Zhu Linian pointed at the handless Zhuge Corpse wearing a suit and said, your Zhuge Corpse wearing a suit is also a zombie, right? Yes. Then kill this Zhuge Corpse in front of Shen Zhu. When Zhu Linian said this, It was as if he was asking Lin Kong to send a dog next to him to be killed. Zhuge Corpse was the most intelligent mutant zombie of the same level. Of course, he could understand Zhu Linyun's words, and of course, he could understand the coldness and ruthlessness in Zhu Linyun's words. Pa! One of Zhuge Corpse's eyes fell directly from its eye socket to his cheek in fear. He hid behind Lin Kong in fear, hoping that Lin Kong could protect him. After all, Lin Kong wanted to take him in as his younger brother. Moreover, when Zhuge Corpse was in the county, he also helped Lin Kong kill a large number of mutant zombies. Without the help of Zhuge Corpse, Lin Kong would never have been able to collect enough level 2 spirit cores in just one day to upgrade all the team members to level 3. Ms. Zhu Linyun, you, read the original text on Liu number 9 at book/bar. Lin Kong had just breathed a sigh of relief, but now he became nervous again. He originally thought that nothing would happen, but Zhu Linyun, that bitch, was causing trouble for Zhuge Corpse. Again, Lin Kong's patience with Zhu Linyun had almost reached its limit. However, he still did not take action immediately. Lin Kong turned his brain and finally came up with a solution in just 2 or 3 seconds. It's like this, Ms. Zhu Linyun, if you want to kill Zhuge Corpse, of course there is no problem. It's just a level 3 garbage zombie. Hearing the first half of Lin Kong's sentence, the heart of Zhuge Corpse, that could not beat in the chest cavity suddenly cooled down. However, the second half of Lin Kong's words made Zhuge Corpse's withered heart feel the light of hope again. Lin Kong analyzed slowly. I wouldn't mind if you tore this kind of rubbish zombie into pieces, but now I have to keep Zhuge Corpse to find other zombies. Its superpower is companion control, so it will provide great help in finding zombies hidden in buildings. Therefore, Ms. Zhu Linyun, I suggest that you don't kill Zhuge Corpse. Of course, if you insist on killing it, I also agree with it. Lin Kong's words not only explained the importance of Zhuge Corpse, but also showed his attitude. Zhu Linyun could kill it if she wanted to, and Lin Kong would unconditionally support her decision no matter what she did. Such a humble licking dog attitude made Zhu Linyun feel very comfortable. Zhu Linyun didn't really want to kill Zhuge Corpse, she was just in a momentary mood. Since Lin Kong was so well behaved, and this, Zhuge Corpse, was still quite useful. Therefore, Zhu Linyun smiled and waved at Lin Kong. Go find zombies quickly, find more of them, so that I can trample all of Shenzhou's zombie friends to death one by one in front of her. After wasting a lot of effort, Lin Kong finally got out of Zhu Linyun's sight and went to the nearby streets to look for zombies hidden there. Then, Zhu Linyun turned around and told Fang Guonan, you should also use your superpowers to ask those small animals to see where the zombies are hiding. Everyone was sent to find the zombies hidden in the building, and Zhu Linyun stayed in front of the big ice ball that froze Shenzhou to prevent Shenzhou from breaking free from the ice ball and escaping. After Lin Kong and Li Minutes walked a short distance away, 4. However, when Lin Kong discovered Zhu Linyun's evil attitude of wanting to kill others, Lin Kong had changed his original idea of running away. Now, Lin Kong's idea is to kill Zhu Linyun. Therefore, facing Li Minutes' quiet question, Lin Kong shook his head, with a fierce look in his eyes. No, I'm not running away. The reason why I want to get out of Zhu Linyun's sight is to assign you the task of killing Zhu Linyun later. Li Minutes was shocked when she heard it. Squad leader Lin, you mean we have to run back to kill Zhu Linyun later? The expression on her face was both fearful and eager to try. Li Minutes' fear was because of Zhu Linyun's powerful strength and her 4 huge wind god pteranodons. What Li Minutes expected was, seeing Wu Fei deeply in love with Zhu Linyun's beauty, Li Minutes, as a girlfriend, of course wanted to kill Zhu Linyun, the little bitch, so as to let her boyfriend Wu Fei escape from the sea of suffering. Of course, if she had to deal with the powerful Zhu Linyun alone, Li Minutes would definitely not be so excited. However, this was Lin Kong's suggestion. Li Minutes witnessed in the county that Lin Kong, with a few dinosaurs, dealt with the attack of the zombie army led by Zhu Shi. Therefore, like Wu Fei, she admired the wise and brave Lin Kong very much. As long as Lin Kong said he wanted to kill someone, that person would most likely be gone. Thinking of this, Li Minutes lowered her voice and asked, "Great, Squad Leader Lin. I knew you must be secretly planning to kill that little bitch Zhu Linian. Come on, tell me what our plan is?" Lin Kong did not hide anything and told Li Minutes all the tactics he had thought of before. Li Minutes was a woman and was less affected by Zhu Linian's beauty, so Lin Kong did not have to worry that Li Minutes would leak the plan to Zhu Linian. Of course, it was impossible for Lin Kong to tell Wu Fei and Zi Wang the details of the plan. These two people have been obsessed with Zhu Linian's beauty. They might not think straight and directly reveal Lin Kong's plan to Zhu Linian. After listening to Lin Kong's plan, Li Minutes couldn't help but give a thumbs up and praised with sparkling eyes, "Squad Leader Lin. Your plan is really insidious. No. It's really smart. Not only did you set up Plan A, but you also set up Plan B, and Plan C in case the first two plans failed. Ha ha ha. With these three plans, we will definitely beat that bitch up." When she said this, Li Minutes clenched her fists and hit them fiercely in the air a few times. She had already made up her mind. After Zhu Linian was killed by Lin Kong, Li Minutes would also scratch Zhu Linian's perfect face! Chapter 279, Beating Teammates. There were three plans to assassinate Zhu Linian this time. Lin Kong did not include Wu Fei and Zi Wang, who were both men, in the plan. Lin Kong understood that it was not that Wu Fei and Zi Wang were not strong enough in willpower, but that Zhu Linian was too beautiful. Even Lin Kong himself, with the three methods of holding breath, distracting attention, the fairy is picking her nose, would be attracted by Zhu Linian from time to time. Lin Kong estimated that all normal male animals on the entire earth would be attracted by the charm exuded by Zhu Linian. Even the Tyrannosaurus rex, who had never been afraid of anyone, was fascinated. The reason why the Tyrannosaurus rex could resist the temptation of Zhu Linian like Lin Kong was that Lin Kong ordered the Tyrannosaurus rex to hold his breath and close his eyes. Anyway, with Lin Kong's command, the Tyrannosaurus rex could walk with his eyes closed. Moreover, Lin Kong and the Tyrannosaurus rex communicated through thoughts, and the information transmission between the two would not be delayed at all. Almost as soon as Lin Kong ordered it to turn left, the Tyrannosaurus rex would turn left instantly, and would never stop for half a second before turning left. As for the Triceratops, after using its superpower, dinosaur possession, it turned into liquid dragon armor and did not even have eyes, ears, or nose. It would not be fooled by Zhu Linian at all. However, if Lin Kong removed dinosaur possession, and restored the Triceratops to its normal form, maybe the Triceratops would also be attracted by Zhu Linian. The last one is the 7 black balls. This guy has a skull in his stomach. The 7 black balls, whose organs are not fully developed, will naturally not be tempted by Zhu Linian. To sum up the above, the trustworthy combat units that Lin Kong has are, Lin Kong himself, a level 0 waste new human; Tyrannosaurus rex, a level 3 mutant beast; Triceratops, a level 3 mutant beast, usually protects Lin Kong in the form of liquid dragon armor; 7 black balls, an incompletely developed level 3 mutant beast, can change from a sphere to an elliptical sphere, a plate, a bathtub, a giant chamber pot, and other strange shapes. Li Minutes, a level 3 new human, whose superpower is, yes or no. After summarizing our combatants, Lin Kong said to Li Minutes, let's go find Cheng and Zi Wang." Squad Leader Lin, didn't you just say that we can't tell Cheng and Zi Wang about the assassination plan? They are men, and they will betray us if we are not careful." Li Minutes looked worried. Although Lin Kong had thought of 3 different assassination plans, Zhu Linian was a level 4 existence, and Li Minutes did not dare to be careless. So when she heard that Lin Kong wanted to find Cheng and Zi Wang, Li Minutes also became nervous. Seeing Li Minutes' nervous and worried look, Lin Kong had to patiently explain, "Li Minutes, you misunderstood. I didn't find them to tell them the plan, but to remind them not to disturb my plan." So that's the case." Li Minutes scratched her head embarrassedly. Although Li Minutes believed that Lin Kong would definitely defeat Zhu Linian, she was still a little nervous. Lin Kong pushed aside the tall grass in front of him and called Li Minutes to follow him. "Go this way. They are next to the tall building in the distance. Lee Minutes quickened her pace and caught up with Lin Kong. At the same time, she was also quite puzzled. Squad leader Lin, how do you know Fang is next to that tall building? Just now, I asked Tyrannosaurus to secretly follow Fang and Ziwang. Tyrannosaurus and I have telepathic functions. No matter how far away, I can easily sense the traces of Tyrannosaurus. Knowing the location of Tyrannosaurus, I naturally understand the location of Fang. Lin Kong answered without turning his head. Oh tilde, so that's the case. Squad leader Lin, you are really a very smart person. Lee Minutes admired Lin Kong more and more. Soon, Lin Kong and Lee Minutes found Wu Fang and Ziwang. The two were in the underground parking lot under a building, carefully looking for traces of zombies. On the streets of Xiong City, most of the zombies were eaten by mutant beasts. Only a few zombies that stayed in the building survived. Most of these zombies were locked in closed rooms or places with many obstacles. For example, underground parking lots. Various cars here collided with each other, almost blocking the exit. As soon as Wu Fang and Ziwang came to the entrance, they smelled a strong smell of zombies. There are probably a lot of zombies hiding inside. Ziwang activated his perspective ability and looked inside. Sure enough, the original text is available at Liu number 9/. There are more than a dozen ordinary zombies in the underground parking lot. Some of them had their legs crushed by the car, some were locked in the car, and some zombies had their bodies broken into 2 pieces. They crawled slowly and aimlessly on the ground. When Wu Fang was about to take all the zombies back, he heard footsteps behind him. He turned around and found that it was Lin Kong and Lee Minutes. Hey, squad leader Lin, why are you here? Wu Fang just greeted Lin Kong, but when he saw Lee Minutes, a trace of disgust flashed in his eyes. Although Lee Minutes' face was also pretty, compared with the goddess Zhu Linyun, Lee Minutes completely turned into an ugly woman. Therefore, Wu Fang didn't want to see Lee Minutes again. Ziwang also came forward to greet Lin Kong, and he didn't want to stay on Lee Minutes' body for too long. Lin Kong looked at the performance of Wu Fang and Ziwang, and understood that their minds had been changed by Zhu Linyun. However, Wu Fang and Ziwang's attitude of disdaining all ugly women cannot accuse them of being scumbags. There is no way. The fragrance and beautiful face of Zhu Linyun are too tempting for a normal man. It is precisely this point that makes Lin Kong more determined to get rid of Zhu Linyun. If Zhu Linyun didn't die, I'm afraid Wu Fang and Ziwang would become suckers who have lost their aesthetic sense and reason. Thinking of this, Lin Kong took out a machete. As everyone knows, Lin Kong always carries 2 machetes with him. One machete was clamped on his back by Lin Kong with liquid dragon armor, and the remaining machete is, don't resist. You too. Wu Fang and Ziwang were confused. Resist? What are you resisting? Lin Kong didn't answer. He directly grabbed Ziwang's hands with his left hand. Then, holding the machete in his right hand, he quickly slashed at Ziwang's abdomen. Swish, swish, swish. Ziwang's superpower is perspective, so as a level 3 existence, Ziwang can't resist Lin Kong's attack at all. Suddenly, under the attack of Lin Kong's machete, Ziwang's abdomen was instantly covered with bloody wounds. Chapter 280 Blood on the Feet. Brother Lin Kong, what are you doing? Feeling the tearing pain coming from his abdomen, Ziwang was sweating profusely. He wanted to break free and attack Lin Kong, but his hands were firmly grasped by Lin Kong. Fortunately, after Lin Kong cut him 3 or 4 times, he stopped attacking him. Ziwang covered his bleeding stomach and quickly retreated away from Lin Kong. Seeing Lin Kong suddenly attacking Ziwang, Wu Fang and Ziwang also took a few steps back and looked at Lin Kong with vigilant eyes. Lin Kong wiped the blood from the machete in his hand and asked Ziwang slowly, "How is it? Is your mind clearer?" Ziwang was running his spiritual energy to quickly heal the wound in his abdomen. The white spiritual energy vibrated at a special frequency in the wound. In just 3 or 4 seconds, the bleeding of Ziwang's abdominal wounds had stopped. Facing Lin Kong's question, Ziwang was a little confused at first. After thinking for a while, he understood Lin Kong's true intention. If Lin Kong wanted to kill him, he would definitely attack his head and heart directly, instead of using a machete to cause some insignificant skin injuries on his abdomen. Therefore, after a brief analysis, Zi Wang knew that Lin Kong actually wanted to free himself from Zhu Linian's confusion. In fact, Lin Kong's goal was achieved. Because of the pain, Zi Wang's mind instantly became much clearer, and he no longer kept thinking about Zhu Linian's beauty. Then, when Zi Wang recalled his previous licking dog behavior of constantly trying to please Zhu Linian, he couldn't help but shudder with disgust. I'm awake. Brother Lin Kong, thanks to you for slashing me a few times just now, otherwise I would have completely become a licking dog. Since you are awake, then I call Zhu Linian a moron. Do you have any objection? In order to confirm whether Zi Wang was really awake, Lin Kong asked loudly. Zi Wang waved his hands and cursed. She is a bitch who has done so much harm to others. I have no objection to what you say. Seeing that Zi Wang had successfully gotten rid of Zhu Linian's confusion, Lin Kong was very satisfied. But at this time, Wu Fei, who heard Lin Kong insulting Zhu Linian, was immediately unhappy. Squad leader Lin, how can you scold my goddess? She is so perfect, so smart, so kind, such an excellent new age woman. You actually called her brain dead. What's wrong with you? I used to think that you, squad leader Lin, were a wise person, but I didn't expect you to be such a superficial person. After Wu Fei finished talking about Lin Kong, he turned around and accused Zi Wang. And you, Zi Wang, you actually called my goddess a bitch. Do you know what a bitch is? My goddess Zhu Linian is so pure and flawless. How can you compare her with a dirty thing like a bitch? Just when Wu Fei wanted to continue to accuse him, Li Minutes couldn't stand it anymore. She pulled out the dagger hidden in her thigh and rushed towards Wu Fei. Zi Wang also raised his fist and gave Wu Fei an uppercut. Swish, swish, swish. Bang, bang, bang. Wu Fei woke up instantly under the mixed doubles of Li Minutes and Zi Wang. The stimulation of pain made Wu Fei no longer worship Zhu Linian. Wu Fei lay on the ground and shouted, "All right, stop hitting me, I'm awake now." Li Minutes put her hands on her waist and asked condescendingly, "Then tell me, is that bitch a bitch?" Because her boyfriend Wu Fei was bewitched, Li Minutes had long wanted to scold Zhu Linian. Wu Fei shrank his head, and in order to avoid being beaten, he quickly replied, "Zhu Linian, a stinky bitch, a dead bitch. Fuck, this bitch actually made me a licking dog. She is really a big bitch." Wu Fei, who had woken up, naturally remembered that Zhu Linian had forced himself to be Lin Kong's bodyguard before, and forced Lin Kong to kill Shen Zhu's domineering behavior. Wu Fei respected Lin Kong the most, but although Zhu Linian looked good, she was always domineering and unscrupulous, treating all men as licking dogs and bullying the weak at will. Such a Zhu Linian really made Wu Fei feel disgusted, so he just cursed Zhu Linian from the bottom of his heart. "Fei, welcome back." Lin Kong took 2 steps forward and stretched out his hand with a smile. Wu Fei grabbed Lin Kong's hand and stood up. "Fortunately, I was beaten up, sobered up a lot. The attack of Li Minutes and Zi Wang just now only caused some skin injuries to Wu Fei." The original text is available at Liu number 9/. Therefore, under Zi Wang's treatment, combined with the strong self-healing ability of their level 3 new humans, in just less than 4 or 5 minutes, the wounds on Wu Fei and Zi Wang's bodies have been completely healed. When their minds were no longer obsessed with Zhu Linian's beauty, the expressions of Wu Fei and Zi Wang seemed much more relaxed. Next, because the two were male, Lin Kong did not tell them the plan to assassinate Zhu Linian, but just asked them to stay away and not get in the way. In order to prevent Zhu Linian from confusing Wu Fei and Zi Wang again, Lin Kong specially introduced his 3 little methods to them. 1. Hold your breath. Do not inhale the body fragrance emitted by Zhu Linian. 2. Divert attention. Once you find that you have signs of being confused, immediately cause yourself pain. For example, pinch yourself, or secretly hurt yourself with a machete. 3. Fairy is picking your nose. In your mind, constantly imagine Zhu Linian doing something disgusting and vilify him. After hearing these 3 points, Wu Fei and Zi Wang's eyes lit up. The two of them kept their brains clear by pinching each other. They are also new humans at level 3, and, holding your breath, doesn't matter even if it's half an hour. According to Lin Kong's personal experiment, from the moment he met Zhu Linyun, he had never inhaled any body fragrance from Zhu Linyun. Suddenly, Zi Wang's eyes of perspective noticed the machete hidden behind Lin Kong's back. His expression changed drastically. "I was wondering why you could stay awake even though we are all men. It turns out ... it turns out ... you." Seeing Zi Wang's shocked and incoherent look, Wu Fei scratched his head and guessed disapprovingly, "It's because squad leader Lin has a stronger willpower that he won't be affected." However, Lin Kong removed the liquid dragon armor on his body. Drip drip drip. Lin Kong raised his foot, and bright red blood kept flowing down. Chapter 281 Preparation for Action. "Ah, why is there so much blood on your legs, squad leader Lin?" Li Minutes looked at Lin Kong's bloody legs and cried out in surprise. Wu Fei also ran behind Lin Kong worriedly and asked with concern, "Squad leader Lin, when did you get injured? Who did it?" Zi Wang on the side swallowed his saliva and explained, "It was not someone else. It was brother Lin Kong who hurt himself just now." "Didn't brother Lin Kong say the method of using pain to divert attention?" "That's right. The reason why he was able to stay awake before was that he had been secretly cutting his back with a machete, causing severe pain." After listening to Zi Wang's explanation, Wu Fei was shocked and stammered, not knowing what to say. "What? This. Li Minutes looked at Lin Kong wiping the blood from his legs and slowly uttered 3 words, "You are cruel." Li Minutes also thought that the reason why Lin Kong was able to stay awake was simply because of his strong willpower. However, unexpectedly, Lin Kong was not immune to Zhu Linyun's temptation. He had to divert his attention from Zhu Linyun by creating severe pain. Before, Lin Kong's back bled a lot. The blood flowed down his back to his legs and finally gathered at the soles of his feet. Blood is quite viscous, and it is very uncomfortable to stick to the body all the time. Moreover, since he was going to assassinate Zhu Linyun later, Lin Kong had to keep his body in a relatively comfortable state. Therefore, he temporarily removed the dinosaur possession to clean up the blood that had gathered on his body. Although he bled a lot, Lin Kong did not show any symptoms of excessive blood loss, because his body was strengthened when he was in the dinosaur possession state. The blood production rate of his body was also greatly improved. In short, with the possession of the 3rd-level Triceratops, Lin Kong's body was basically fine. He told because the blood that Lin Kong just shed gave off a strong smell of blood. The zombies in the underground parking lot all screamed excitedly. However, most of these zombies were trapped by various obstacles and could not rush over to cause harm to everyone. Even if they could rush over, they were just the most common zombies. Everyone was a new human at level 3, so how could they be afraid? Hearing the strange cries of these zombies, Lin Kong immediately ordered, "Zi Wang, use your perspective eyes to see if there is any rope nearby. It's best to have a thicker one." "Well, if it's steel bars, it's okay." "Okay." 7 or 8 minutes later, with everyone's efforts, the zombies in the underground parking lot were all tied up with their hands behind their backs and a hard stone stuffed in their mouths. These 7 or 8 were tied up with several thick nylon ropes. Wu Fei and Zi Wang dragged this large bundle of zombies back to Zhu Linyun. Lin Kong, Li Minutes, and Zhuge corpse, 2 people per corpse, went to other places not far away and found some other zombies. After more than 10 minutes, Lin Kong also dragged 5 or 6 zombies back to where Zhu Linyun was. Zhu Linyun had seen the Tyrannosaurus Rex on fire before, so he asked Lin Kong to let the Tyrannosaurus Rex spit fire to melt the ice on Shenzhu's head. At this moment, Shenzhu's hair was disheveled and her face was lifeless. She stared at the air in front of her with a dull look. She no longer had anger towards Zhu Linyun. What she had was endless guilt. Looking at Shenzhu's decadent appearance, Lin Kong also shook his head secretly. He really didn't expect that Shenzhu, a girl in sportswear, who looked like a young and lively person, would be devastated immediately because she accidentally killed a zombie friend. A girl with such poor psychological quality can actually survive in this cruel apocalypse. The most incomprehensible thing is that such a girl has become a level 4 strongman. Lin Kong feels that this world is really unfair. He worked so hard to get Wu Fei, Zi Wang and other talents to level 3, but Shen Zhu, who had extremely poor psychological quality, easily reached level 4. However, at this moment, Lin Kong didn't even know how to reach level 4. But then again, Lin Kong at least had the help of the dinosaurs. If he was compared with other new humans at level 1 and level 2, Lin Kong was already a very lucky man. After a while, Fang Guonan also came back with 3 zombies. Now that the zombie friends were all together, Zhu Linian was going to let Shen Zhu watch a big show. Like picking up a chicken, Zhu Linian grabbed a zombie and came in front of Shen Zhu. Snap! Zhu Linian pressed the zombie's head in front of Shen Zhu. Read the original text at LU number 9/. However, Shen Zhu's eyes lost focus and she didn't care about the zombie in front of her at all. To be precise, she no longer cared about anything. In Shen Zhu's mind, the scene of her punching her zombie friend was replaying over and over again. Seeing Shen Zhu's dull face, Zhu Linian was unhappy. She pressed the zombie's head with one hand and grabbed Shen Zhu's hair with the other hand to make her eyes focus on the zombie. However, Shen Zhu was frozen by the 7 Black Frost, and did not react much. Zhu Linian just pulled her hair and could not bring Shen Zhu's thoughts back to reality. Hey, your zombie friend is here, don't you want to take a closer look? Zhu Linian spoke loudly to Shen Zhu, but Shen Zhu was like a walking corpse. No matter how loud Zhu Linian shouted, Shen Zhu did not react at all. Even Shen Zhu's eyeballs did not move at all because of Zhu Linian's question. Seeing this situation, Zhu Linian was very angry. She smashed it heavily, and with a loud bang, the zombie's head in her hand was smashed into pieces. However, even if a zombie was blown up in front of Shen Zhu did not react at all. Sadness, anger, shock, none of them. The reason why Zhu Linian wanted to kill zombies in front of Shen Zhu was to make Shen Zhu suffer, to enjoy Shen Zhu's crying. But now, Shen Zhu didn't move at all. This made Zhu Linian furious, and her eyebrows stood up. She clenched her fists and was about to punch Shen Zhu's head. At this time, Lin Kong ran up and suggested, "Sister Zhu Linian, I have a way to make Shen Zhu regain her sanity. As long as she returns to normal, you can torture her slowly." Oh tilde, what method? Zhu Linian felt that Lin Kong, this licking dog, had a good brain, and maybe he really had some strange methods. However, Zhu Linian would never have thought that Lin Kong, who she thought was a licking dog, was about to kill her. Chapter 282, The Accidental Assassination. To be honest, Lin Kong hadn't thought of a way to cheer up Shen Zhu. Besides, he didn't need to think of one. Lin Kong lied that he had come up with a solution just to make Zhu Linian fall into a trap, and it was just an excuse. So, Lin Kong didn't tell him the solution immediately. He held the huge ice ball in his hands and carried Shen Zhu to the lobby of the hotel next door. "It's too hot outside at noon. Why don't we go inside? I'll tell you slowly when we get inside." "Okay, I really want to see what solution you have." It was noon now. The sun was shining brightly, and Zhu Linian did feel a little hot, so she agreed to Lin Kong's proposal. She followed Lin Kong into the lobby of the hotel. Fang Guonan also followed Zhu Linian in. At this moment, Zhu Linian's 4 wind god pterosaurs and a wind pterosaur were circling in the sky. They were huge. Of course, it was impossible for them to enter the lobby of this hotel. In this way, Zhu Linian and her pet pterosaur were temporarily separated. Once Lin Kong kills Zhu Linian at this moment, the wind god pterosaur will be blocked by the building if it wants to rush down. This is Lin Kong's real intention. In order to kill Zhu Linian with the highest probability, Lin Kong has set up 3 assassination plans. The one with the highest success rate is Plan A. However, if Plan A fails, Lin Kong will promptly adopt Plan B to remedy it. If Plan B, which is responsible for the remedy, also fails, Lin Kong will use the last set of more expensive Plan C. However, according to Zhu Linian's arrogant personality and brain intelligence, Lin Kong estimates that only Plan A is needed to deal with her, and there is a high probability that the other 2 plans will not be used. So, what is the first Plan A? It's very simple, 3 steps. The first step, Let Zhu Linian and Fang Guonan enter the building. The second step, kill Zhu Linian and Fang Guonan. The third step, kill the four-wind god pterosaurs. After Lin Kong brought the big ice ball that froze Shenzhou to the hotel lobby, Zhu Linian and Fang Guonan followed him in. Zhu Linian crossed his arms and quietly waited for Lin Kong to tell him how to wake up Shenzhou. Fang Guonan dragged a bunch of ordinary zombies in, ready for Zhu Linian to kill them one by one. As for Wu Fei and Zi Wang, they all stood outside the hotel gate at Lin Kong's advance signal. At this moment, they were all holding their breath and did not inhale Zhu Linian's wonderful body fragrance again. They were still pinching each other to divert their attention. Therefore, their minds remained relatively clear. In order to prevent accidents, Lin Kong still couldn't let them participate in the assassination. In Plan A, the main people who assassinated Zhu Linian were 1. Lin Kong in the state of dinosaur possession. 2. The Tyrannosaurus Rex, who was wandering around the hall on the surface, but was ready to launch Forbidden Fire Eye at any time. 3. The 7 black balls ambushed on the second floor in advance. 4. Li Minutes, who was responsible for observing whether there was any abnormality around. Tap tap. Lin Kong took 4 or 5 steps and came to Zhu Linian with a smile on his face. At this moment, the distance between the two was only half a meter. It was exactly the attack distance planned by Lin Kong, and Zhu Linian was completely unaware of Lin Kong's killing intention. Lin Kong's fingers were trembling slightly. Although Lin Kong had experienced many battles, he was still a little nervous at this moment. After all, this was also his first time to fight against a new human of level 4. Zhu Linian looked at Lin Kong with a silly smile on his face, and said with almost no defense on his body, "Hurry up. Don't keep us in suspense. Let Shenzhou cheer up again." Zhu Linian was talking. A trace of fierceness flashed in Lin Kong's eyes. "The time has come. It is now." The 7 black balls ambushed on the second floor have come to Fang Guonan's head, and Fang Guonan is standing there, motionless. The Tyrannosaurus Rex has turned to Zhu Linian's blind spot and can launch the Forbidden Fire Eye. Lin Kong is also in an excellent attack position at a distance of half a meter. As for the opponent Zhu Linian, he was talking, completely defenseless. "You can attack. Now is the best moment to attack." At the same time, the original text is available at 6 number 9 at book/bar. The 3 pink-clad gunners, 1 kilometer away, were also nervously watching Lin Kong's every move. They all discovered the 7 black balls hidden by Lin Kong on the second floor through the water mirror. They also secretly heard Lin Kong's 3 assassination plans. They understood that Zhu Linian had fallen into Lin Kong's assassination trap at this moment. They were expecting Zhu Linian, a perfect-looking and brain-hole bitch, to be killed by Lin Kong with a single punch. Wu Fei and Zi Wang, who were outside the hotel gate, did not look around the hotel casually. They looked at the weeds swaying in the wind not far away, waiting for good news from Lin Kong. When everyone's attention was focused on Lin Kong's next move, an unexpected situation occurred. Just as Lin Kong was about to let the 7 black balls and the Tyrannosaurus Rex attack at the same time, suddenly, a loud noise. This sound came from behind Lin Kong. The unexpected incident caused Lin Kong to temporarily suspend his plan to assassinate Zhu Linian. The 7 black balls continued to lie in ambush on the second floor. The Tyrannosaurus Rex continued to pretend to wander around. Lin Kong turned his head and tried to find the source of the loud noise. Suddenly, Lin Kong felt that the sound was familiar. Why did it sound like the sound of an eggshell cracking? Wait, the eggshell cracked? Lin Kong's eyes widened. He actually ignored the dinosaur egg that was about to be born. Originally, those dinosaur eggs were placed on the 7 black balls. Just now, because of the assassination of Zhu Linian, Lin Kong placed all the dinosaur eggs in the corner of the hall. There was a dinosaur egg among them, and Lin Kong expected a new dinosaur to hatch today. Because he had been focusing on planning the assassination, Lin Kong didn't pay much attention to the dinosaur egg. Although a particularly powerful dinosaur might jump out of the dinosaur egg that was about to hatch. However, Lin Kong never put all his hopes on unknown dinosaurs. Therefore, He formulated 3 plans to assassinate Zhu Linyun. Zhu Linyun was completely unaware of Lin Kong's assassination intention. She looked past Lin Kong and looked at the corner where the dinosaur eggs were placed. The unknown dinosaur was about to be born, and the noise it caused would definitely be huge. In that case, there would be too many surprises. Lin Kong decided to first see what this dinosaur was, and then continue to assassinate Zhu Linyun. Moreover, with the help of the new dinosaur, Zhu Linyun, who had a low level of vigilance, would have no way to escape Lin Kong's assassination. Chapter 283, The Genius Dinosaur is Born. In the corner of the hotel lobby, there was a sturdy sack containing 14 dinosaur eggs. Crack, 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 crack. The sound of the eggshells cracking became faster and faster, and more. A green light shone through the gaps in the sack. Seeing this strange phenomenon, Zhu Linyun couldn't help but pat Lin Kong on the shoulder and asked, "Hey, what's in your sack? Why do I feel like something is about to explode?" At this moment, Zhu Linyun's attention was all attracted by the sack in the corner. If Lin Kong launched a surprise attack now, it would most likely succeed. However, Lin Kong didn't care much about Zhu Linyun anymore, because he vaguely felt that the dinosaurs to be hatched next would be very powerful. Lin Kong carefully felt the energy of the dinosaur that was breaking out of its shell. He was surprised to find that the level of this dinosaur was at least level 4. Other dinosaurs, such as Tyrannosaurus rex and Triceratops, were very low in level when they were just born. However, this mysterious dinosaur that was about to be born actually directly upgraded to level 4. This is too fierce. Not long after, the continuous clicking sounds disappeared. After 3 or 4 seconds of silence, suddenly, there was a bang. It was as if the bomb in the sack finally exploded. There was a huge impact force that exploded in the center of the sack, and the originally quite strong sack exploded in an instant. The dinosaur eggs inside were blown out one by one. They fell and rolled around in the lobby of the hotel. With this explosion, all the windows and glass doors in the lobby, second floor, third floor, and fourth floor of the hotel were shattered. The noise of this birth was really a bit loud. Even Zhu Linyun couldn't help but run to the outside of the hotel gate and hide temporarily. She also let the wind god pterosaur land beside her and began to be alert to the situation in the hotel lobby, because she sensed a trace of danger from the big sack. I saw in the corner of the hall, a green mist filled the air. The green mist was rolling, and a powerful newborn dinosaur of level 4 was slowly walking out of it. Lin Kong stared at the green mist intently. The area covered by the mist was about 2 meters high and 2 meters wide. Judging from the huge amount of green mist, Lin Kong estimated that this newborn dinosaur of level 4 was at least 1.5 meters tall. Because the glass doors and windows of the hotel lobby were all shattered at this moment, the strong wind outside easily rushed in. The strong wind blew over the corner where the newborn dinosaur was, and directly blew away all the green mist. In this way, the figure of the newborn dinosaur in the mist appeared. Lin Kong looked up with expectation. As a result, he was shocked. Lin Kong's eyes widened, because he was surprised to find that after the green mist dissipated, Lin Kong did not see any dinosaurs. What's going on? I can clearly feel that the newborn dinosaur is in the corner in front, but why can't I see it? So strange could it be? Is this a dinosaur that can hide? When Lin Kong had this idea, a clear little girl's voice came into Lin Kong's mind. "Hello, Carrot, little cousin, look down." Huh? Who is talking in my head? Lin Kong was shocked at first. Then, he suddenly understood the source of the speaker in his mind. It seemed to be the newborn dinosaur that just jumped out. But, why can this guy talk in my head as soon as he was born? Other Tyrannosaurus rex, Triceratops and the like can only say some simple words and cannot speak fluently. With doubts, Lin Kong lowered his head. Read the original text in Liu number 9/. Then, Lin Kong found a green dinosaur toy. No, that's not a toy, but a small dinosaur about 5 centimeters tall. No, it shouldn't be called a small dinosaur. A Tyrannosaurus rex with a height of 30 centimeters is called a small dinosaur. This 5-centimeter dinosaur should be called micro dinosaur. Lin Kong squatted down and communicated with her directly through his mind. "You are too small. Why are you not even half the size of my palm? While asking questions, Lin Kong carefully observed this 5-centimeter dinosaur. In terms of color, the skin of the whole body is light green. If she is placed in the canopy with many leaves, it is difficult to find her figure. Observe the shape of this little guy again. 2 thick hind legs, 2 forelimbs and wings combined together, and a pointed mouth. This is a typical pterosaur shape. Lin Kong recalled the various dinosaur toys of his sister, and then remembered the name of the dinosaur in front of him. Forest pterosaur. That's right, the little guy in front of him is a miniature forest pterosaur. The forest pterosaur tilted its head and pretended to be angry and sent a voice message to Lin Kong. How can you say I'm small? I was born not long ago, and I will grow tall in the future. The personality of this forest pterosaur is like a little girl. She is completely different from the brave and fearless Tyrannosaurus rex and the honest Triceratops. Lin Kong grabbed her and put her in his palm. He asked her with his mind, "Why is your brain so flexible and smooth when you were just born?" While asking, Lin Kong also circulated his spiritual energy and sensed the body of the forest pterosaur. Now, Lin Kong is already a new human of level 0. So he can also detect the specific strength of others by touching. After carefully sensing for a while, Lin Kong found that there were 4 spiritual energy beads in the body of this small forest pterosaur. This phenomenon fully illustrates the true strength of the forest pterosaur. It is indeed a level 4 mutant beast. So powerful. Not only was it born at level 4, but when Lin Kong communicated with it with his mind, he also found that this forest pterosaur was a very smart little guy. In Lin Kong's mind, the proud voice of the forest pterosaur came. Maybe I am the legendary genius dinosaur. Suddenly, during the process of communicating with his mind, Lin Kong discovered something very special. This forest pterosaur can actually use emoticons. ? Lin Kong couldn't help but ask it with his mind. Who did you learn this emoticon from? The forest pterosaur tilted its head, thought for a while and replied, because I am a genius dinosaur. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 284 Chapter 286 The Superpowers of the Forest Pterosaur. On the street outside the hotel lobby, Zhu Linyun, who was on full alert, found that Lin Kong was looking at the strange green pterosaur, looking at each other non-stop. Because Lin Kong was communicating with the forest pterosaur through his mind, outsiders could not find out what they were talking about. Li Minutes looked at Lin Kong in surprise, wondering, there seems to be no green pterosaur in the assassination plan, right? Lin Kong ignored Li Minutes' doubts and directly put the assassination plan aside. Now, he has a lot of questions to ask the forest pterosaur in front of him. It is worth mentioning that the speed of mind communication is much faster than the speed of oral communication in reality. So, in a short while, Lin Kong asked dozens of questions. However, what disappointed Lin Kong was that although the forest pterosaur could communicate fluently and had a quick mind, she didn't know much. For example, why did the Tyrannosaurus rex and Triceratops call Lin Kong dad, but the forest pterosaur called Lin Kong little cousin? The explanation of the forest pterosaur is, because I am a genius dinosaur. For example, Lin Kong asked again, why do those dinosaur eggs recognize me as their master? Why can those dinosaur eggs revive me after I die? Am I a human or a dinosaur? As a result, the forest pterosaur blinked a few times and answered happily, as a genius dinosaur, I never care about these meaningless questions. Lin Kong heard it, and his mouth twitched. You little dinosaur are too narcissistic. You call yourself a genius, but you can't answer any important questions at all. No, there is a very important question that the forest pterosaur still answered. That is, what is your special ability? Listen carefully. My ability is amazing. I can control all creatures with wings. The forest pterosaur boasted proudly. Because of the communication of mind, Lin Kong soon learned the specific usage of the forest pterosaur's ability. Indeed, As the forest pterosaur said, she can control creatures with wings, not only sparrows flying in the air, but also poultry such as big hens and white geese jumping on the ground and not flying high. Even the new humans who grow wings can be controlled by the forest pterosaur. For example, Lin Kong, whose superpower is white cloud wings. However, Lin Kong is dead at this moment. The forest pterosaur cannot control dead creatures. It must be a living creature with wings for the forest pterosaur to control it. Lin Kong thought about it and decided to call the superpower of the forest pterosaur Lord of Wings. If you need to give Lord of Wings a level, it is SS level. This is a powerful ability similar to the dinosaur possession of the Triceratops. However, because the forest pterosaur is still small, she cannot control many winged creatures. At most, there are only about 100 . Moreover, the higher the level of the winged creature, the fewer the total number of winged creatures controlled by the forest pterosaur. For example, she could only control 5 wind god pterosaurs of the same level as her. Then, suddenly, Lin Kong's eyes lit up. Zhu Linian only had 4 wind god pterosaurs in total. According to the ability of the forest pterosaur, she could completely control all 4 wind god pterosaurs and the remaining wild wind pterosaur. Thinking of this, Lin Kong couldn't help but ask a key question: which one is more powerful, your Lord of Wings, or that woman's Queen of Beasts? Wow. Closing parenthesis, comma, of course my genius ability is more powerful tilde. The forest pterosaur answered confidently without thinking. Feeling the pride of the forest pterosaur, Lin Kong didn't quite believe her. In order to test, Lin Kong asked the forest pterosaur to activate the ability of Lord of Wings, Buzz tilde. A subtle air wave, from the head of the forest pterosaur, was transmitted to the mind of the wind god pterosaur outside the hotel door at an extremely fast speed. Because the forest pterosaur and Lin Kong had been communicating with each other through their minds, Zhu Linian did not realize that his wind god pterosaur had been secretly controlled by the forest pterosaur. Zhu Linian did not know what Lin Kong and the green pterosaur were doing in secret. Since it was a small test, Lin Kong did not let the wind god pterosaur attack Zhu Linian directly, but let the forest pterosaur give it a small order: drool at the top of Zhu Linian's head. First of all, it is certain that these 4 wind god pterosaurs have been completely controlled by Zhu Linian's superpowers. However, when the forest pterosaur gave the order, the wind god pterosaur standing next to Zhu Linian opened its pointed mouth towards the top of Zhu Linian's head without hesitation. Then, the sticky saliva poured down like water. Zhu Linian's eyes were always on Lin Kong, and she did not notice the saliva crisis on her head at all. Swish tilde. Zhu Linian was soaked by the smelly and sticky saliva. Seeing this, the forest pterosaur happily sent a message to Lin Kong: oh ha ha tilde, that sister looks so funny tilde. Seeing Zhu Linian soaked, Lin Kong touched the little head of the forest pterosaur and praised: well, good job, comma, of course, I am the most powerful genius dinosaur tilde. After being praised by Lin Kong, the forest pterosaur's tail immediately rose to the sky. On the street in front of the hotel, Zhu Linian was angry and embarrassed. She stretched out her foot and kicked the wind god pterosaur hard. The forest pterosaur was immediately unhappy when she saw that her new pet was beaten. She was about to order the wind god pterosaur to attack Zhu Linian. However, Lin Kong immediately stopped her with his mind: don't resist, let her fight for a while. Why, little cousin? The forest pterosaur was very angry and puzzled. Don't let her find out that we have controlled her wind god pterosaur. In this way, we can launch a surprise attack later. At this time, Lin Kong has become an evil uncle who instigates the little girl to do bad things. Originally, in Lin Kong's assassination plan, he wanted to kill the 4 wind god pterosaurs directly. However, with the help of the forest pterosaurs, Lin Kong not only does not have to kill the 4 wind god pterosaurs, but can also take them for himself and turn them into his own mounts. Tilde. This idea is great. Chapter 285 for Assassination Methods. To be precise, when the forest pterosaur with the superpower of Lord of Wings was born, Lin Kong's assassination plan was basically no longer necessary. 4 level 4 wind god pterosaurs, plus a level 4 forest pterosaur, Fighting a level 4 new human Zhu Linian should be a very easy battle. At this moment, Lin Kong was in a very good mood. On the street in front of the hotel gate, Zhu Linian, who was drenched by the saliva of the wind god pteranodons, was in an extremely bad mood. In response to the crazy drooling behavior of the wind god pteranodons, Zhu Linian punched and kicked him. After the beating, Zhu Linian felt a little better. Since the clothes are covered with saliva, they can no longer be worn. I can only change my clothes. Zhu Linian looked around and didn't find any clothing stores. She ordered Fang Guonan in a bad mood. "What are you doing standing there? Go find some clothes." Okay, I'll go right away. Fang Guonan, who had a square face, shrank his neck in fear. He trotted to other houses on the street, trying to find some clean clothes. Before leaving, Fang Guonan couldn't help but look at Zhu Linian a few more times, because even though Zhu Linian's body was covered with sticky and disgusting saliva, she was still very beautiful. Fang Guonan found that no matter what clothes Zhu Linian wore, no matter what dirty objects Zhu Linian's body was covered with, no matter what Zhu Linian was doing, she looked so beautiful and so fascinating. She is indeed the most beautiful woman on earth. Although Fang Guonan had been abused by Zhu Linian many times, he was still deeply obsessed with Zhu Linian's beauty. Let alone torture, as long as he could see Zhu Linian one more time and smell the intoxicating fragrance on Zhu Linian's body one more time, Fang Guonan felt that it didn't matter even if he died. When Fang Guonan was immersed in it, Wu Fei and Zi Wang, who were standing at the door of the hotel, looked at Zhu Linian, who was soaked all over, and their eyes widened. Damn, if it was an ordinary person who was drenched in pteranodon saliva, it would definitely be avoided. But this Zhu Linian, my god, seems to be more beautiful. Wu Fei and Zi Wang were so fascinated that they even forgot to pinch each other. Moreover, they forgot to hold their breath, because the wind god pteranodon eats wild beasts raw. The saliva of the wind god pteranodon is quite fishy. However, Zhu Linian, who was drenched in this fishy saliva, still couldn't be completely covered by the strong stench. So, Wu Fei and Zi Wang inhaled the charming fragrance of Zhu Linian again. In an instant, the two lost themselves again. Zhu Linian looked at Wu Fei and Zi Wang, who were looking at each other with lustful eyes at the door, frowned and scolded, "You two, hurry up and find some clean clothes." "Okay, dear Miss Zhu Linian, I'll go right away." Wu Fei and Zi Wang both showed a flattering smile on their faces. They rushed to a clothing store they found when they were looking for zombies before, where there were many beautiful and clean clothes. Wu Fei and Zi Wang's speed increased to the limit, and they were vying to be the first to rush into the clothing store so that they could personally hand over the best-looking clothes in the clothing store to the most beautiful Miss Zhu Linian. Looking at the impatient figures of Wu Fei and Zi Wang, Zhu Linian sneered in his heart, "Ha tilde, two lowly-looking dogs." While sneering on the spot, Zhu Linian's lips slightly opened. Therefore, a few drops of fishy pteranodon saliva slid into the corners of Zhu Linian's mouth. As soon as she tasted the disgusting saliva, Zhu Linian's face immediately became distorted, and her stomach couldn't help but churn. Zhu Linian rushed into the bathroom on the side of the hotel lobby. As for the green pteranodon that suddenly appeared, Zhu Linian no longer had time to care about it. Zhu Linian hurriedly turned on the faucet in the bathroom. Great, the water stored on the roof of the hotel has not been used up. However, since no one has changed the water in the hotel's reservoir for a long time, the water flowing out of the faucet has a faint smell. If it were normal, Zhu Linian would never touch such unclean dead water. But now, the original text is in Liu number 9 / Zhu Linian decisively held the water flowing from the faucet with both hands and sprinkled it on her face. After washing the disgusting saliva on her face, Zhu Linian then washed the fishy liquid on her hair. This bathroom did not have a shower head or something like that, and Zhu Linian thought the water flow of this faucet was not strong enough. So, she pulled the faucet hard and pulled it off. Suddenly, water gushed out. Zhu Linian put her hair directly in the water outlet and washed it. Lin Kong, who was in the hotel lobby, knew that Zhu Linian was washing the dirt on her body. He first asked Li Minutes to go a little further away, and then Lin Kong confirmed with a forest pteranodon in his hand, You mean, if it's a one-on-one fight, you can beat this beautiful woman? The forest pterosaur raised its little head confidently. Humphrey, don't worry. I will definitely beat her to pieces. Okay, then, I'll believe you once. Lin Kong hesitated for a moment, and decided to give the forest pterosaur a chance to show himself. Of course, he didn't relax his vigilance. He slightly changed the previous assassination plan. The place of action was moved to the door of the bathroom. Lin Kong communicated with the forest pterosaur directly with his mind, so their assassination plan would not be heard by others. How about this? You fly to the light stand above the bathroom exit and hide inside it. As soon as that beautiful woman comes out, you attack her directly. Okay, Carrot, no problem. I promise to kill her in one shot. The forest pterosaur seemed quite excited, and expressed a positive attitude towards the next assassination. Well, I will ambush on the left side of the bathroom exit, and the Tyrannosaurus will ambush on the right side of the bathroom exit. At the same time, the 7 black balls will also ambush on the second floor. Once the attacks of the 3 of us fail, the 7 black balls will take action. Lin Kong simply told the forest pterosaur about the process of the assassination plan. This assassination was a total of 4 fatal surprise attacks. The first was the attack of the forest pterosaur, the second was Lin Kong in the state of dinosaur possession, the third was the Tyrannosaurus with sharp teeth, and the fourth was the 7 black balls spraying cold air. The 4 assassination methods of this plan A not only provided multiple insurances, but also attacked Zhu Linian in a deliberate and unintentional way. Therefore, Lin Kong felt that the chances of this assassination being successful were very high. Chapter 286 The Lazy Forest Pterosaur. However, after the forest pterosaur heard Lin Kong's 4 assassination methods, it blinked impatiently. Oh, greater than less than, little cousin, why do you make it so complicated? I can pierce her head directly by myself. Although the forest pterosaur was born not long ago, her hunting mentality was very fierce since birth. It is worthy of being a carnivore. At this moment, Zhu Linian has become the target of the forest pterosaur. Seeing the forest pterosaur's impatient look, Lin Kong stopped talking. Moreover, even if the first assassination plan A fails, Lin Kong still has plan B and plan C. Even if all 3 assassination plans fail, don't panic. Lin Kong still has a plan D for escape. In short, Lin Kong can describe this assassination in 4 words: foolproof. The forest pterosaur quickly climbed onto Lin Kong's shoulder. Let's go. Closing parenthesis, little cousin, put me on the light stand at the door of the bathroom first. Seeing this, Lin Kong couldn't help but ask doubtfully, you can't fly, can you? As a genius. Of course I can fly, but I'm just too lazy to fly. Put me on it quickly. No, you have to fly for me first. Lin Kong then remembered that the forest pterosaur had never demonstrated flying in front of him. To be on the safe side, Lin Kong still forced the forest pterosaur to fly for a while. Seeing Lin Kong's serious expression, the forest pterosaur had no choice but to spread her small green wings. She flapped them casually. Then, Lin Kong felt a weight on his shoulders. The forest pterosaur flew out. Swoosh! A sound of breaking through the air sounded. Lin Kong saw a green shadow, drawing a straight line in the air, and directly shot onto the light stand at the door of the bathroom. After pausing for 0.1 seconds, swoosh! The forest pterosaur flew back from the lamp stand to Lin Kong's shoulder. Its flying speed was so fast that the air around it made a whistling sound. Wow! Your speed is too fast. It must be at least 200 meters per second. When the forest pterosaur was flying, Lin Kong could hardly see her body clearly. He could only see a series of green after images left in the air. It was really fast. You know, the maximum speed of the 7 black balls is only 150 meters per second. The speed of the forest pterosaur is 50 meters per second faster than the 7 black balls. If compared with the wind god pterosaur of the same level, which can run at 100 meters per second, the speed of the forest pterosaur is exactly twice that of the wind god pterosaur. With such a fast speed, even if the forest pterosaur cannot kill Zhu Linian in the first time, it is easy enough to escape. According to Zhu Linian's running speed, the forest pterosaur can easily tease her. After seeing the super speed of the forest pterosaur, Lin Kong finally felt relieved. However, the forest pterosaur flew back to Lin Kong's shoulder and still asked Lin Kong to take it to the light stand at the door of the bathroom. Lin Kong was puzzled. Hey, you just flew to the light stand in an instant, you can go there by yourself. Why do you have to take me there? It's too far, I'm too lazy to fly, even if it only takes a while. The forest pterosaur doesn't want to fly there. Helplessly, Lin Kong could only carry this grandfather who doesn't like sports on his shoulders to the door of the bathroom and hide it on the light stand. Afterwards, Lin Kong and the Tyrannosaurus Rex also ambushed on the left and right respectively. The 7 black balls on the second floor have also been ambushed, ready to break through the concrete between the floors at any time, and then rush down directly to launch a surprise attack on Zhu Linyun. Everything is ready, now just waiting for Zhu Linyun to come out of the bathroom. To be honest, Lin Kong didn't want to destroy Zhu Linyun, the most beautiful woman in the world, but she was too psychopathic and her desire to control others was too strong. Moreover, she didn't treat other men as normal people. Most importantly, this Zhu Linyun had confused Wu Fei and Zi Wang, and Lin Kong had to hurt himself all the time to resist the temptation of Zhu Linyun's beauty. In short, the original text is available at Liu number 9 / Lin Kong had a good reason to kill Zhu Linyun. At the same time, the 3 pink-clad men were also staring at the water mirror formed by future water. In the water mirror, Lin Kong, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the green pterosaur were ambushing at the door of the bathroom. Originally, without the help of the level 4 forest pterosaur, the coquettish woman and the plump woman thought Zhu Linyun would definitely die. Now with the help of the forest pterosaur, Zhu Linyun is even more certain to die. At this moment, the 2 people who knew that Zhu Linyun was about to die were also in a very happy mood. When they saw the green forest pterosaur, they also showed eager expressions. Tilda, this newborn green pterosaur is so cute, look at its body, look at its small head, look at its bright big eyes, my god, I want it so much. The plump woman stared at the forest pterosaur and analyzed, well, this green pterosaur is really beautiful, and it is also very fast. It looks quite powerful, at least level 4. Anyway, Zhu Linyun will definitely die. So the attention of the coquettish woman and the plump woman has even shifted to Lin Kong's forest pterosaur. Unlike them, the pink-clothed cannon man looked a little regretful. Alas, what a beautiful woman. It's a pity that you have to provoke that dinosaur breeder. Isn't this courting death? Although Zhu Linyun is the car team leader and although Zhu Linyun is very attractive to him, the pink-clothed cannon man is unlikely to save Zhu Linyun for the sake of his own life. Now, he can only wait patiently. He could only wait for the arrival of Team Leader Ma and 20 new human killers at the peak of level 4. The pink-coated cannon man didn't want to see the tragic death of Zhu Linyun, so he turned his head and looked out the window. At this moment, the pink-coated cannon man's trio was in the lobby of a bank. When the pink-coated cannon man looked out the window, suddenly, he saw a group of dense black spots approaching rapidly on the horizon. Listening carefully, he found that it was a buzzing tilde sound. The pink-coated cannon man circulated the spiritual energy in his body to his eyes. He took a closer look. After seeing the dense black spots clearly, the pink-coated cannon man retreated in panic. Then, the pink-coated cannon man trembled with his hands, and quickly activated the ability of Water of the Future, to predict a safe location. Hurry, hurry, let's hide in the safe. There are so many. So many. Big mosquitoes coming. Chapter 287 The mosquito army is coming. In the bank lobby, the pink-clad gunman was pulling his 2 lovers and rushing into the safe behind the bank. According to the prediction of Water of the Future, this safe is the safest place. With a clang, the pink-clad gunman slammed the door of the safe tightly. After seeing the door was completely closed, the pink-clad gunman breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing the pink-clad gunman's nervous look, the coquettish woman asked in confusion, "Husband Tilda, what's there to be afraid of mosquitoes? Can't you just slap them to death?" Seeing that the coquettish woman was not afraid at all, the pink-clad gunman couldn't help but roar at her. "There are tens of thousands of level 3 mosquitoes. What can you use to slap them? Use your life to slap them. Level 3 mosquitoes? Tens of thousands. Why are there so many? The coquettish woman couldn't help but show a look of fear at the sudden appearance of tens of thousands of mosquitoes. The three pink-clad cannon men were all level 3 new humans. If there were only a few dozen level 3 mosquitoes, they could certainly kill them together. But tens of thousands of level 3 mosquitoes? Thinking of the densely packed scene, the coquettish woman couldn't help shrinking her neck. She couldn't afford to slap them. Even if she had 100 lives, she probably couldn't slap these mosquitoes to death. Stop talking. Let's stay here quietly. The pink-clad cannon man let his lover lean against him. The pink-clad cannon man controlled the water of the future, and conjured up a brand new water mirror again. Now, he had 2 water mirrors. One water mirror was used to monitor Lin Kong not far away, and the other water mirror was used to observe the situation outside the bank. The view was aimed at the direction that the pink-clad cannon man had just seen. That large group of mosquitoes was flying towards the bank. Fortunately, he had the water of the future, and predicted the best safe position in advance. Even if these mosquitoes came here, they probably wouldn't cause any harm to him, the pink-coated cannon man thought thankfully. At this moment, they only need to wait quietly and let the group of mosquitoes fly over their heads. Naturally, they can safely survive this sudden disaster. Because of the speed difference, the pink-coated cannon man did not get close to Lin Kong before, so he didn't know about the needle-tube giant mosquitoes. He didn't know that it was Zhou Linyun's wind god pterosaur that killed several needle-tube giant mosquitoes. He didn't know that those needle-tube giant mosquitoes followed their companions' smell of death and followed them all the way here. The target of this group of needle-tube giant mosquitoes is certainly not the bank where the pink-coated cannon man is. Their target is the wind god pterosaur that once killed their kind. Therefore, as long as the pink-coated cannon man does not appear in their field of vision and hides in the safe without saying a word, the pink-coated cannon man trio can survive safely. Soon, this dense group of needle-tube giant mosquitoes flew over the bank. Even though there were solid walls to insulate the sound, the 3 pink-coated gunners could still hear the huge buzzing sound of the needle-tube giant mosquitoes flying. It felt like several fighter jets rumbling past the bank at high speed. The 3 pink-coated gunners held their breath nervously. They were just level 3 new humans, and in front of such a large group of needle-tube giant mosquitoes, they were just like ants. If they were not careful, these needle-tube giant mosquitoes would directly suck the blood from their bodies clean. It is worth mentioning that when the pink-coated gunners were chasing Lin Kong, they also saw a lot of dry zombie corpses. The heads of those zombie corpses were intact. However, in order to kill a zombie, you have to destroy its brain. So the pink-coated gunner was quite confused at the beginning. He thought it was the special ability of a new human that caused the death of these zombies. But now, the pink-coated gunner suddenly understood. It should be the work of these needle-tube giant mosquitoes. They directly sucked all the liquid in the zombies' bodies, causing the zombies' brains to dry up, leading to the zombies' death. The pink-coated cannon man didn't want to become a skinny corpse. He kept predicting with the water of the future. The water of the future sent him all the information about safety. Time passed by second. The flying speed of those needle-tube giant mosquitoes was quite fast, so after a while, the buzzing sound around the bank became less. After a while, the sound of these needle-tube giant mosquitoes flapping their wings completely disappeared. The pink-coated cannon man trio could see through the water mirror that there were no needle-tube giant mosquitoes around the bank. Read the original text at LU number 9/. They all flew away. The coquettish woman lowered her voice and approached the pink-clad gunman's ear and asked, "Husband Tilda, when are we going out?" The pink-clad gunman rotated the water mirror's view several times and confirmed that there was no needle-tube giant mosquito around the bank. He dared to whisper, "Wait a minute before going out. There may be a few slow-flying mosquitoes that fall behind. It is safer for us to continue to stay in this safe. Moreover, Lin Kong has not started to fly, so we can still observe Lin Kong's situation through the water mirror here." The pink-clad gunman's attention shifted from the water mirror that was used to observe the bank to the water mirror that was used to observe Lin Kong. Then, he was surprised to find that a large group of needle-tube giant mosquitoes were heading straight in the direction of Lin Kong. At the same time, in a clothing store on the street, Wu Fei and Zi Wang were frantically searching for women's clothing inside. As long as they found something good-looking, they immediately hugged it tightly in their arms as if they had found a treasure. Their eyes were not very natural, and their minds were not very clear. At this moment, all they could think about was how beautiful Zhu Linyan looked after she put on the clothes they had chosen. Suddenly, buzz tilde, 2 or 3 big mosquitoes flashed past the window. They didn't take it seriously. Buzz buzz buzz. Then, dozens of needle-tube giant mosquitoes flew past their window. They looked at them in confusion. It would have been fine if they hadn't looked, but they were shocked when they saw them. Not far away, tens of thousands of needle-tube giant mosquitoes were flying over in an overwhelming manner. Originally, Wu Fei and Zi Wang were both mesmerized by Zhu Linyan's beauty. However, when they saw these powerful needle-tube giant mosquitoes, the huge fear that arose spontaneously made their minds return to normal. They threw the clean women's clothes in their hands onto the ground as if they were throwing away rags. Like flying, the two of them rushed directly into a small room deep in the clothing store and hid. Chapter 288. The killing begins. Wu Fei and Zi Wang were hiding in a small room inside the clothing store, shivering. Zi Wang was using his clairvoyant powers to see through the walls of the small room and look at the outside world. Oh my God! There were black mosquitoes of all sizes everywhere. The mouths of those mosquitoes were as sharp as needles, flashing a chilling light. It was them. Those needle-tube giant mosquitoes came for revenge. Zi Wang naturally understood the target of this group of needle-tube giant mosquitoes, the wind god pteranodons that slapped their companions to death. This level 3 needle-tube giant mosquito would instantly turn into a skinny corpse if it was sucked by more than 3 mosquitoes at the same time. Thinking of this, Zi Wang felt a chill on his back. He closed his eyes and could only pray nervously that those needle-tube giant mosquitoes would not rush in to cause trouble for him. Fortunately, this large group of needle-tube giant mosquitoes did not pay much attention to Wu Fei and Zi Wang hiding in the clothing store. They flew directly towards the mosquito killer with a ferocious look. In the hotel, Lin Kong, who originally planned to assassinate Zhu Linyan, found that the Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, and 7 black balls all sent him a dangerous signal. The forest pterosaur on the lampstand at the door of the bathroom flew directly to Lin Kong's shoulder, and shouted anxiously in Lin Kong's mind with his mind, "It's not good, there are many winged creatures flying over here." Lin Kong's face also changed. He was about to ask the specific species of the winged creature when he heard a huge buzzing sound coming from the direction of the hotel entrance. Turning his head to look at the hotel gate, in the distance, countless black spots were flying quickly over here. It was the needle giant mosquito. Lin Kong recognized the true identity of the black spot as the needle giant mosquito at a glance. They were coming for the wind god pterosaur. If it was before the forest pterosaur was born, Lin Kong would naturally run away immediately. But now, since those wind god pterosaurs can be controlled by the forest pterosaur as mounts, Lin Kong can't abandon them. Of course, it was impossible for Lin Kong to risk his life to save these Ketsinus. He naturally thought of a safe way to deal with the needle giant mosquitoes. Lin Kong and all the dinosaurs under his command immediately rushed to the door of the hotel. At this time, Zhu Linyan also discovered the movement outside. She ran out and saw the dense army of needle giant mosquitoes. She immediately jumped on the back of a Ketsinus. Hurry, hurry, fly. Because they discovered it too slowly, needle giant mosquitoes surrounded the hotel from all directions. The speed of the Ketsinus pterosaur is fast, but once it is entangled by the needle giant mosquitoes, its blood will be sucked dry quickly. It cannot be entangled, and it must break out. Zhu Linyan observed the current situation and made a decision in an instant. She understood that these needle giant mosquitoes were all coming for the Ketsinus pterosaur that was stained with the smell of death. In this case, all she had to do was let the Ketsinus with the smell of death attack the needle giant mosquitoes to attract their attention. Then, she could quickly leave on the other Ketsinus. Very good. The plan worked. Zhu Linyan's eyes lit up. So, she immediately ordered the Ketsinus with the smell of death to attack the needle giant mosquitoes in the north. As a result, the Ketsinus with the smell stood still, as if it had not received Zhu Linyan's order. Seeing this, Zhu Linyan thought that the Ketsinus was scared silly. Therefore, She immediately activated her superpower, Queen of Beasts, Loyal Servant, Attack. Use your glorious sacrifice to exchange for the safety of this queen. At this moment, Zhu Linian was like a middle school girl who walked out of the magic world, chanting an extremely middle school spell. No matter how hard Zhu Linian's eyes emitted the fluctuations of spiritual energy, the Ketsinus that was contaminated with the smell was also indifferent. What's going on? It was so obedient before. Is it scared silly? Seeing that this Ketsinus was disobedient, Zhu Linian had to let the other Ketsinus go to die. Queen of Beasts, launch, Loyal Servant, attack. Use your glorious sacrifice to exchange for the safety of this queen. However, the other Ketsinus was also indifferent. The original text is available at number 9/. They seemed to have not received Zhu Linian's orders at all. This is bad. Time did not allow Zhu Linian to make more attempts. She quickly jumped off the back of the Ketsinus. She gave up the plan to escape on the Ketsinus. As she was surrounded by needle giant mosquitoes on all sides, Zhu Linian did not dare to run around. Once she attracted the attention of the needle giant mosquitoes, she would definitely become a dried corpse. There was no other way. Zhu Linian could only rush into the bathroom quickly. Well, let's hide in the toilet cubicle first. After the 4 dazed Ketsinus are eaten, maybe those needle tube giant mosquitoes will run away automatically. Thinking of this, Zhu Linian felt that he had grasped a glimmer of hope. Zhu Linian thought that the Ketsinus was frightened, but in fact, those Ketsinus were controlled by the forest pteranodons. Lin Kong jumped lightly and jumped onto the back of the Ketsinus that was stained with the smell of death. Turning around, Lin Kong shouted, "Li Minutes, you come up too." Li Minutes recognized this Ketsinus as the one that killed the needle tube giant mosquito before. She didn't know why Lin Kong asked her to go up. This was a Ketsinus that Zhu Linian couldn't control. Li Minutes didn't know what Lin Kong's intention was to jump up. Although Li Minutes had many questions that she didn't know, she knew one very important thing, that is, listen to squad leader Lin. It's right. So, after hesitating for 0.01 seconds, Li Minutes immediately jumped onto the back of the Ketsinus. Take off. Lin Kong gave the order, and the forest pteranodon immediately controlled the Ketsinus to soar into the sky. Li Minutes did not ask Lin Kong about the next plan. She just held the rope on the back of the Ketsinus tightly. At this moment, all those needle tube giant mosquitoes had already flown 10 meters away. With just one more sprint, their needle tube mouths could pierce the body of the Ketsinus pteranodon into a hornet's nest. Of course, Lin Kong and Li Minutes on the back of the Ketsinus pteranodon could not escape the disaster. However, before these needle tube giant mosquitoes approached, Lin Kong decisively ordered, "Flap them." The forest pteranodon received the order. So, the Ketsinus pteranodon immediately flapped its wings frantically. Its huge body immediately turned into a tornado. This tornado was not going to rush into the sky, but directly killed the army of needle tube giant mosquitoes. Chapter 289, Killing Mosquitoes. The marginal area of Zhejiang City, in front of the main entrance of a hotel. Pa 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 pa. The sound of flesh hitting each other rang out continuously and quickly. In the air, Lin Kong rode the Ketsinus pteranodon into the black wave of needle tube giant mosquitoes. The wings of the Ketsinus pteranodon were spread out, and they were 8 meters long. The physique of the needle tube giant mosquitoes was only the size of a watermelon. Besides, the Ketsinus pteranodon was level 4. While the needle tube giant mosquitoes were only level 3. There was a difference of 1 level between the two, whether in terms of size, strength, or speed. These needle tube giant mosquitoes were not a match for the Ketsinus pteranodon. Therefore, when the Ketsinus pteranodon launched a full-strength sprint, those seemingly ferocious needle tube giant mosquitoes were suddenly smashed to pieces like balls. After a full-strength sprint, the Ketsinus pteranodon killed nearly 100 needle tube giant mosquitoes, and the Ketsinus pteranodon was only bitten once. The first confrontation, a complete victory. According to this style of play, the Ketsinus pteranodon only needs to sprint 700 or 800 times to wipe out the needle tube mosquitoes. However, the Ketsinus pteranodon simply do not have that much physical strength. Even if 4 Ketsinus pteranodons attack together, they cannot wipe out this large group of needle tube mosquitoes, because, after a sprint, Other needle-tube mosquitoes will immediately run up and take the opportunity to bite a few times. Once they bite too much, the Chitinous pterosaurs will lose the power to fly. Once the power is weakened, the speed will inevitably decrease. As long as they are caught up, everyone will be finished. Of course, Lin Kong's tactics are not to let the Chitinous pterosaurs fight these needle-tube mosquitoes. His tactics are to let the 7 black balls fight them hard. The advantage of these needle-tube mosquitoes is that they are large in number. This characteristic of large number is very similar to the characteristics of leaks. And what the 7 black balls are best at is cutting leaks. Therefore, after the first sprint, Lin Kong immediately shouted, "Quick, fly up." The reason for flying up is to attract the attention of all the needle-tube giant mosquitoes, because this Chitinous pterosaur has just killed nearly 100 needle-tube giant mosquitoes. Its body is covered with the smell of death. These strong smells make all the needle-tube giant mosquitoes red-eyed. They rushed to this Chitinous pterosaur frantically, vowing to suck it clean. In this way, other Chitinous pterosaurs on the ground will not be attacked. Therefore, Lin Kong does not have to be distracted to protect other Chitinous pterosaurs. At this moment, Lin Kong only needs to do his best to deal with the large group of needle-tube giant mosquitoes chasing him. In the air, the Chitinous pterosaur where Lin Kong is flapping its wings vigorously and flying up desperately. It rushed into the sky like a rocket. The buzzing group of needle-tube giant mosquitoes were left behind in an instant. The current situation is, we are on top, and all the needle giant mosquitoes are below. This position of I am above, the enemy is below has a very big advantage. That is, Lin Kong does not have to pay attention to the changes above, he only needs to focus all his attention on the bottom. It is worth mentioning that this position of I am above, the enemy is below is exactly the best formation for cutting leaks. The mission of the wind god pterosaur has been completed. Next, it is the turn of the 7 black balls to appear. I saw a big black ball with a diameter of 1.8 meters, slowly flying out from behind Lin Kong. The current flying speed of the 7 black balls is 150 meters per second, and its superpower, 7 black freeze, the upper limit of the number of times it can be released is as high as 5,200 times. This 7 black freeze can instantly kill the mutant zombies of level 3. Mutated zombies have thick skin and rough flesh, and they will be killed directly. Not to mention these mere needle giant mosquitoes the size of watermelons. Looking down, Lin Kong looked at the buzzing needle giant mosquitoes below and smiled happily. Reaching out his hand, Lin Kong patted the 7 black balls, then, "Let's start cutting leeks." As we all know, cutting leeks means using a kitchen knife to cut off hundreds of leeks at once. Then, let's use a metaphor. The kitchen knife is like the 7 black balls, and the leeks are the group of fearless needle-tube giant mosquitoes. The 7 black balls turned slightly, and the opening that sprayed cold air was already aimed at the group of big mosquitoes. 7 black freeze, fire. The original text is in Liu number 9 at book/bar. The blue death cold air, like a column of water shot out from a firefighter's water gun, rushed straight to the center of the mosquito group. Each time 7 black freeze is fired, a stream of cold air will be shot out. A stream of cold air will form a large icicle about 1 meter thick and 50 meters long. This 50-meter-long icicle instantly froze 300 or 400 needle-tube giant mosquitoes to death. Due to the existence of the Earth's gravity, the icicles wrapped around the needle-tube giant mosquitoes fell from the sky unshattered. In other words, 7 black frost can kill 300 or 400 needle-tube giant mosquitoes. However, the release limit of 7 black frost is 5,200 times. So, 7 black frost, 7 black frost, 7 black frost, fire, 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 dot. Twice, 3 times, 4 times. Adjust the direction and continue to attack. 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times. No, some needle-tube giant mosquitoes are flying up. The wind god pterosaur flapped its wings again and flew up, pulling away. Okay, let's continue to use 7 black frost to cut leaks. 50 times, 70 times, 90 times, 100 times. One after another, 7 black freeze, one after another, blew cold air, one after another, icicles condensed in the air, constantly harvesting the lives of the needle giant mosquitoes. The first few times of 7 black freeze, many mosquitoes could be frozen to death at a time. The density of mosquitoes became smaller and smaller later, so the number of mosquitoes killed by 7 black freeze was also decreasing each time. Therefore, after 100 times of 7 black freeze, Lin Kong estimated that about 10,000 needle giant mosquitoes died in the cold air. After 100 times, Lin Kong didn't need to shoot anymore, because the remaining needle giant mosquitoes had all been scared away. What smell of death, what swearing to avenge companions, what sucking enemies dry. In the face of death, they threw all these beliefs behind their heads. Animals are afraid just like humans. They were scared by Lin Kong. They ran away in fear. Looking at the empty surroundings, Lin Kong scratched his head. Running away now? I still have 5,100 more shots. Lin Kong looked unsatisfied. He lowered his head and looked at the hotel on the ground. Lin Kong suddenly thought of Zhu Linyun. After killing the mosquitoes, it was her turn next. Chapter 290. The brutal Zhu Linyun. In the hotel bathroom cubicle, Zhu Linyun, wearing a red dress, was soaking wet. At this moment, she had lost her previous domineering queen demeanor. She huddled tightly in the corner of the cubicle, clenching her hands and praying that the needle giant mosquitoes would not discover her whereabouts. Zhu Linyun was surrounded by a large circle of black ants, densely packed in a large area, probably several thousand. There were also some centipedes, rats and other animals, which also loyally guarded the side of the cubicle. It was Zhu Linyun who activated the superpower, Queen of Beasts, to control them. However, these animals such as ants, centipedes, and rats have not mutated and evolved, and their bodies are very ordinary, so their combat power is limited, and it is basically impossible for them to protect Zhu Linyun's safety. However, Zhu Linyun did not find any other mutant animals near this hotel, so she could only control these scums with almost zero combat power. At least, with the protection of so many small animals, Zhu Linyun at least gained some psychological security. Although Zhu Linyun was a level 4 new human, and the needle giant mosquito was only a level 3 mutant beast, one level lower than her. However, Zhu Linyun did not dare to kill any needle giant mosquito easily. Once Zhu Linyun killed one of them, her body would be stained with the special smell left by the needle giant mosquito after death. If that happened, a large number of needle giant mosquitoes would come to hunt her down. Now, those wind god pterosaurs suddenly did not listen to her control, so if the needle giant mosquito hunted her down, she would probably not be able to escape if she relied on her legs alone. Therefore, Zhu Linyun, who was hiding in the toilet cubicle, had no other way to deal with it except praying to God that the needle giant mosquito would not find her. At the same time, Zhu Linyun was also quite angry in her heart. She was angry that at such a critical moment of danger, none of those men who were licking dogs stayed by my side to protect me. However, Zhu Linyun forgot that it was she who asked Fang Guonan, Wu Fei, and Zi Wang to find clean clothes. Not long after, Zhu Linyun was delighted to find that a large number of needle-tube giant mosquitoes were fleeing quickly. There was even a needle-tube giant mosquito that ran into the bathroom in a panic. The needle-tube giant mosquito saw Zhu Linyun, and Zhu Linyun also looked at the needle-tube giant mosquito with fear. At first, Zhu Linyun was startled. As a result, the needle-tube giant mosquito had no intention of attacking Zhu Linyun at all, and it fled madly to the window. The glass at the window was shattered in an instant. The needle-tube giant mosquito with a black body, with its sharp mouthparts shining with cold light, fled without looking back. Then, looking out through the window, Zhu Linyun found that more needle-tube giant mosquitoes were fleeing in a hurry. Seeing this scene, Zhu Linyun thought that God heard his inner prayers, so that these mosquitoes were scared and fled. After all, I can be the most beautiful woman in the world. Maybe God is confused, and then he will take the initiative to help me out of the predicament. Zhu Linyun thought narcissistically. After finding that the buzzing sound around him was completely inaudible, Zhu Linyun walked out of the small cubicle with the help of many ants, centipedes, and mice. Carefully pushing open the door of the bathroom, Zhu Linian poked his head out and looked at the hall. The hall was empty, and there was no needle giant mosquito to be seen. Looking at the street outside the hotel, the street was also empty, and no needle giant mosquito was seen. There were 3 wind god pterosaurs and a wind pterosaur, standing quietly on the street at the entrance of the hotel. Their bodies were intact and they were not attacked by any needle giant mosquitoes. In this way, it seems that the crisis is really resolved. Zhu Linian finally felt a little relieved. Then, she walked quickly outside the hotel. There was anger between her eyebrows, although this needle giant mosquito crisis was successfully overcome. However, at the critical moment, none of these Fengtian pterosaurs were willing to listen to me. None of them were willing to fly out and sacrifice their lives to exchange for the safety of this queen. Such ungrateful beasts must be taught a lesson. Zhu Linian held the heel of her high heels in her hand. Tap, tap, tap. Zhu Linian walked quickly to the outside of the hotel gate. When she was about to poke the Fengtian pterosaur hard, suddenly, a disheveled figure rushed over. The original text is available at 6:9. She took a closer look. Zhu Linian felt sick when she saw the mediocre square face. If it weren't for the magical plants he planted, Zhu Linian would have killed this ugly uncle with a rubbish look. However, although Fang Guonan's utilization value is very high and he cannot be killed easily, Zhu Linian can still abuse him. It just so happens that Zhu Linian is quite angry now. Come here and kneel down. Zhu Linian shouted coldly at Fang Guonan. Fang Guonan was originally looking for clothes, and then suddenly a lot of needle giant mosquitoes came. Fang Guonan immediately hid in a small room and escaped. After discovering that all the needle giant mosquitoes had fled, Fang Guonan was very worried about Zhu Linian's safety, so he ran back quickly. Seeing Zhu Linian walked out of the hotel door safely, a look of relief and peace of mind appeared on Fang Guonan's face. Great, my beautiful goddess, did not suffer any harm. However, when he just relaxed a little, he heard Zhu Linian's cold shout. Zhu Linian asked Fang Guonan to kneel down. Fang Guonan didn't dare to disobey. He hurried to Zhu Linian and knelt down in front of her. Looking up, Fang Guonan saw Zhu Linian's cold face. It was obvious that Zhu Linian was angry. Fang Guonan felt both scared and happy at the same time. What he was afraid of was how Zhu Linian would abuse him next. What pleased him was that Zhu Linian looked so charming when she was angry. It was my blessing to be abused by such a perfect woman. Ah, Tilda, come on, abuse me as much as you want. Perhaps because he had been abused for too long, Fang Guonan fell in love with that strange feeling at this moment. With a feeling of pain and happiness, Fang Guonan closed his eyes, waiting for Zhu Linian's anger. Looking at Fang Guonan's expectant expression, Zhu Linian raised her jade hand to the heel, and then put it down fiercely. She spit on Fang Guonan in her heart. This perverted uncle is so disgusting that I can't do it anymore. Zhu Linian kicked Fang Guonan away. At this time, Zhu Linian turned around and saw that Wu Fei and Zi Wang were back. Very good, she can vent her anger on them. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 291, Frightened Zi Wang. Wu Fei and Zi Wang were hiding in the clothing store. Wu Fei found that the needle giant mosquito had fled in panic, and because he was worried about Li Minut's safety, he ran back quickly. Zi Wang had a perspective eye, and he saw that there was no needle giant mosquito around the hotel, so he followed Wu Fei. The two of them came to the street in front of the hotel gate and saw Zhu Linian, who was soaked all over. Because they were too scared before, they both temporarily got rid of Zhu Linian's confusion. Now, after seeing Zhu Linian with a graceful figure, they both became alert. They quickly held their breath to prevent themselves from inhaling the tempting fragrance emanating from Zhu Linian. Then, they secretly pinched their arms to divert their attention and prevent themselves from being obsessed. Wu Fei loves his girlfriend Li Minutes, and he knows that if he is confused by Zhu Linian again, He is likely to do something dangerous to hurt Li Minutes. Zi Wang also discovered Lin Kong's intention to assassinate Zhu Linian through his perspective eyes. It can be seen that Zhu Linian's awareness of prevention is particularly poor. Zi Wang has seen Lin Kong's methods, so he naturally understands that Zhu Linian is no match for Lin Kong. Therefore, he does not want to fall into Zhu Linian's beauty. Once he is used by Zhu Linian, he may be in danger. In short, the two of them secretly decided in their hearts that they would not be deceived by Zhu Linian this time. Wu Fei, who was awake, was very worried about Li Minutes' safety. He looked around, but did not see Li Minutes. Wu Fei anxiously asked Zi Wang for help. "Hurry up and use your perspective eyes to see where my girlfriend is. Is she hiding in a corner?" Generally speaking, if you encounter an attack by a large group of mutant mosquitoes, as long as you hide in a hidden corner, you can escape if you are lucky. Therefore, Wu Fei also guessed that Li Minutes might hide in a closet in the room. Zi Wang has perspective eyes, which can see through walls, making it very convenient to find people. Zi Wang circulated his spiritual energy and activated his perspective eyes to look around 2 or 3 times, but found nothing. He shook his head. "I didn't see it." Wu Fei's face changed instantly after hearing this. Could it be? No, no, he muttered to himself. His words were incoherent. In this apocalypse, Wu Fei's parents are all dead. Lin Kong is Wu Fei's only good brother, and Li Minutes is Wu Fei's only family. So, when he saw Zi Wang shaking his head, he had a guess in his mind. His girlfriend Li Minutes had been sucked into a mummy by the needle giant mosquito. Wu Fei swallowed his saliva and said with difficulty, "Zi Wang, look for my girlfriend's clothes again to see if there are any mummies wearing clothes." As he said this, Wu Fei's face showed a deep regret. Before, when he was confused by Zhu Linian, Wu Fei scolded Li Minutes for being ugly many times, told her not to touch his hands, etc. Moreover, Wu Fei kept trying to please Zhu Linian and praised Zhu Linian. At the end, Wu Fei didn't even want to look at Li Minutes. Even if he looked at her, it was with an extremely disgusted look. Wu Fei felt heartbroken when he thought about how he had hurt his girlfriend Li Minutes many times. If Li Minutes was really sucked into a skinny corpse by the needle giant mosquito, where would he go? "I haven't even had time to apologize to her." Wu Fei seemed to be very regretful because he couldn't resist Zhu Linian's confusion. Zi Wang understood Wu Fei's urgent mood. He turned his glowing perspective eyes and carefully searched around the hotel. At the same time, at the entrance of the hotel, Zhu Linian had just kicked Fang Guonan, who had a serious masochistic tendency, to the ground with a look of disgust. Fang Guonan covered his chest and screamed with pleasure, because Zhu Linian was not wearing high heels when she kicked Fang Guonan. She kicked Fang Guonan barefoot. While Fang Guonan was being kicked, he naturally touched Zhu Linian's delicate feet. Zhu Linian no longer paid attention to the wretched Fang Guonan. She turned around and found Wu Fei and Zi Wang, who were looking for Li Minutes. Originally, Zhu Linian was very angry, because when the needle giant mosquito attacked, these two people did not come to protect themselves at the cost of their lives. As two lowly licking dogs, they did not perform their licking dog obligations well. Zhu Linian's beautiful eyebrows stood up. Then, Zhu Linian also found that Zi Wang's eyes were emitting a misty white light. She knew that this was Zi Wang using his superpower, perspective. It didn't matter that Zi Wang used perspective. What mattered was that in the process of looking for Li Minutes, Zi Wang accidentally swept his perspective eyes over Zhu Linian's body, and this behavior was just seen by Zhu Linian. Zhu Linian thought Zi Wang was peeping at her perfect body. In an instant, Zhu Linian was furious. "How dare you use perspective on me?" Her voice was full of chill. Originally, she just wanted to punish Zi Wang with the heel of her high-heeled shoe. Now, Zhu Linian decided to dig out Zi Wang's eyes first, and then send him to hell. Zi Wang was concentrating on finding Li Minutes' body, and he didn't notice Zhu Linian with a gloomy face. 3 seconds passed. Zhu Linian found that Zi Wang had no reaction. Could it be that this slowly licking dog didn't see that the queen was angry? There was no way. Zhu Linian could only shout at him, "Hey, roll over here, kneel down." Zi Wang noticed it now. He quickly turned his eyes to Zhu Linian. At this time, He did not put away his perspective eyes. So, he saw Zhu Linian's body from the outside to the inside, clean and thorough. Puff. Nosebleed gushed out. Zi Wang was holding his breath and was in a sober state. However, after he saw Zhu Linian's body, he could no longer stay sober. He was lost in an instant. As soon as he heard Zhu Linian say, "Come here and kneel down," Zi Wang wanted to throw himself under Zhu Linian's skirt immediately. Even if Zhu Linian wanted Zi Wang to die at this moment, Zi Wang would probably kill himself without hesitation. Wu Fei saw that something was wrong with Zi Wang. When Zi Wang wanted to run to Zhu Linian, Wu Fei directly stretched out his palm and slapped Zi Wang's head. This palm contained a lot of spiritual energy. The original text is available at Liu number 9 /. With a smack, Zi Wang's head was directly hit and he was dizzy. Zi Wang shook his head and waited until the dizziness in his head disappeared a little. Turning his head, Zi Wang glared at Wu Fei. "Why did you hit me?" Looking at Zi Wang's angry look and his clear eyes, Wu Fei understood that Zi Wang had successfully escaped from Zhu Linian's confusion. Wu Fei approached Zi Wang and whispered, "If I am bewitched, remember to hit me." Hearing this, Zi Wang immediately understood. A drop of cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Fortunately, Wu Fei woke him up in time. Otherwise, he might have been killed by Zhu Linian, the vicious woman. Thinking of this, Zi Wang quickly held his breath to prevent himself from inhaling the unique fragrance of Zhu Linian. Seeing Zhu Linian's gloomy expression, Zi Wang certainly understood his mistake just now. She must have thought that I used my perspective eyes to spy on her body. Judging from Zhu Linian's vicious behavior of abusing Fang Guonan, Zi Wang felt that Zhu Linian would definitely not let him go easily. This is bad. Zi Wang is only a level 3 new human, and his superpowers do not have the effect of increasing combat power. What's more, Zhu Linian has 4 level 4 wind god pteranodons. There is no way to fight. Even with Wu Fei next to him, it's just a death. Brother Lin Kong has to take action. Zi Wang understood that only Lin Kong could save him. He looked around, but found in despair that not only Li Minutes was missing, but even Lin Kong and his Tyrannosaurus Rex had disappeared. Alas, this time it was all over. Suddenly, Zi Wang discovered the abnormality of the Ketsinus. He counted slowly. He found that there were only 3 Ketsinus on the street in front of the hotel. In other words, 1 Ketsinus was missing. Could it be? Zi Wang thought of a possibility. He looked up. He looked, facing the dazzling sunlight at noon. Zi Wang squinted his eyes, and finally found the Ketsinus in the air. Perspective. Start. Zi Wang's eyes penetrated the body of the Ketsinus, and took a closer look. Sure enough, Li Minutes and Lin Kong were on the back of the Ketsinus. Just now, Zi Wang ignored the air. It was not until he found that 1 Ketsinus was missing that Zi Wang looked in the air. Zi Wang patted Wu Fei on the shoulder and said excitedly, "Your girlfriend and brother Lin Kong are both alive and well. Look, they are in the sky." Zi Wang pointed to the sky. Wu Fei followed the direction of Zi Wang's finger and also found the falling Ketsinus. "Great. My Amin is not dead." Wu Fei's sadness faded away and he smiled. Zi Wang saw Lin Kong's figure, which was equivalent to seeing a savior. Although Zhu Linian was very powerful, she was nothing in front of Lin Kong. Lin Kong was a very ruthless person. He took the level 2 dinosaurs and fought against 3 or 4,000 mutant zombies alone, and defeated 3 level 3 zombies. Now, Lin Kong's dinosaurs are all level 3. Moreover, Zi Wang also knew that Lin Kong just got a new green pterosaur. Zi Wang had already used his perspective eyes to observe the green pterosaur, a level 4 mutant beast. Needless to say, Brother Lin Kong is definitely going to win. You are a beautiful but vicious woman. Just stay here and wait for death. Zi Wang glanced at Zhu Linian with resentment. Zhu Linian didn't have the ability to read minds, so of course she didn't know what Zi Wang was thinking. When she saw that Zi Wang didn't roll over as she ordered, her anger grew even stronger. Tap, tap, tap. Zhu Linian walked quickly towards Zi Wang. At this time, whoosh tilde, boom. Lin Kong, riding on the wind god pterosaur, landed right next to Zi Wang. Chapter 292. The 5th kill with 1 punch. The size of the Aeolus pterosaur was huge. When it landed, It naturally stirred up a strong wind. The dust on the ground was immediately blown everywhere by the strong wind. Zhu Linian inhaled the dust and coughed a few times. Zhu Linian had been hiding in the small cubicle of the bathroom before, and had no idea what was happening outside. She naturally didn't know that it was Lin Kong who drove away the large group of needle giant mosquitoes. She also didn't know that her Aeolus pterosaur had been controlled by the forest pterosaur. She didn't think about why this Aeolus pterosaur couldn't drive itself, but Lin Kong could. She was just very angry. She wanted to kill people to vent her anger. Therefore, when she saw Lin Kong riding the Aeolus pterosaur down, she still looked arrogant. "You, get down and kneel down." Zhu Linian no longer tried to find out why Lin Kong was indifferent to her before. Now, the only thing Zhu Linian wanted was to kill Zi Wang, Lin Kong, and Wu Fei. Zi Wang had to die because he used perspective to spy on his body. Lin Kong was choked by the dust stirred up by the Ketsinus, so he deserved to die. Wu Fei was killed because… well, there was no reason. He just killed her. Zhu Linian was completely unaware of Lin Kong's strength, and now she only wanted to kill people to vent her anger. Lin Kong looked at Zhu Linian's insane and angry expression and knew that the time was almost up. The crisis of the needle giant mosquito was resolved. The newborn dinosaur also successfully jumped out of the fossil egg. Now, Lin Kong controls a level 4 forest pterosaur and 4 level 4 Ketsinus. In terms of superficial strength, our side has already occupied an absolute advantage. Psychologically, Zhu Linian has no scope at all, and in terms of strength, he is not as strong as this side. Although Zhu Linian has a loyal helper Fanguonan, Fanguonan is only a level 3 new human, and does not pose a threat at all. In short, Lin Kong is almost certain to win the next battle. However, Lin Kong still did not relax. He decided to use the assassination method and kill Zhu Linian directly. Lin Kong didn't know Zhu Linian's identity as the team leader of the car. Therefore, Lin Kong didn't think of keeping Zhu Linian for interrogation. Since it was an assassination attack, Lin Kong pretended to be timid as usual. Therefore, facing Zhu Linian's roll over here and kneel down, Lin Kong pretended to be terrified. He hurriedly jumped off the back of the wind god pterosaur. With a thump, he knelt on his knees. In addition, he scolded Wu Fei and Zi Wang. "You two bastards, don't you see that Miss Zhu Linian is angry? Why don't you kneel down and apologize?" Wu Fei and Zi Wang were shocked at first. Their hearts were full of doubts. What? Why did the big squad leader Lin suddenly become so obedient? Then, they saw the gesture hidden behind Lin Kong. Suddenly, Wu Fei and Zi Wang immediately understood what Lin Kong meant. Wu Fei hurriedly knelt on the spot. Zi Wang extinguished the ability of perspective in his eyes, pretended to kneel down with a guilty look, and kowtowed to apologize. I'm sorry, my beautiful queen. Please forgive my rude behavior just now. You are really too beautiful, I just couldn't help it. I am really very sorry." Zi Wang was begging Zhu Linian for forgiveness on the surface. In fact, he was sneering in his heart. "Humphrey Tilda, you bitch are finished. Brother Lin Kong is going to kill you soon." Li Minutes, who was standing aside, also saw Lin Kong's hidden gesture behind his back. She knew that the assassination was about to begin. So, she quietly jumped aside and observed the surroundings vigilantly to prevent other accidents from happening. Fanguonan was at the door of the hotel, recalling Zhu Linian's kick just now. His expression seemed very obsessed. However, in order for Fanguonan to suddenly run over to destroy Lin Kong's assassination, Li Minutes still moved quietly and came to the middle of Fanguonan and Zhu Linian. In this way, if Fanguonan wanted to support Zhu Linian, he could stop him. At the same time, under Lin Kong's instruction, the 7 black balls slowly floated into a nearby house. It had already fired the cold air port and secretly aimed it at Zhu Linian's back. The 30-centimeter tall Tyrannosaurus Rex extinguished all the flames on its body and quietly came to the bushes on the left of Zhu Linian. As for the 5-centimeter tall forest pterosaur, it quietly hung inside the hem of Zhu Linian's skirt. At this moment, behind Zhu Linian were the 7 black balls that could freeze people into ice cubes. To the left of Zhu Linian was the sharp-toothed Tyrannosaurus Rex, Inside Zhu Linyun's skirt was the small 4th level mutant forest pterosaur. As for Lin Kong, he knelt on his knees right in front of Zhu Linyun. Therefore, everything was ready. Zhu Linyun was surrounded by murderous intent, but she found nothing. She was still thinking about what interesting method to use to kill Lin Kong, Wu Fei and Zi Wang. Suddenly, I got it. Zhu Linyun had an idea, and she said with a grim smile, "You three fight each other, but only one can survive." Lin Kong was shocked at first. "Miss Zhu Linyun, you are not kidding, right? Only one of the three can survive?" Lin Kong pretended to be scared. Zhu Linyun's expression became cold, and she said in an unquestionable tone, "That's right. Only one can survive. If you don't kill each other, I will kill all three of you, leaving no one alive." Zhu Linyun looked at Lin Kong's trembling cowardly appearance, and felt a sense of accomplishment. At the beginning, Lin Kong always had an indifferent image of not caring about Zhu Linyun at all, but now, he has become a licking dog kneeling on the ground and trembling. This huge change in image made Zhu Linyun mistakenly think that she had conquered Lin Kong. "That's right, it was me who turned Lin Kong, this unruly wolf, into a lowly licking dog. Ha ha ha." Zhu Linyun seemed very cold and ruthless on the surface, but in fact she was very proud in her heart. Seeing Zhu Linyun's cold-blooded and ruthless appearance, Wu Fei and Zi Wang knelt on the ground in silence. The original text is on Liu number 9/. They were not hesitating whether to participate in the three can only survive one game. They were waiting for Lin Kong to launch a fatal sneak attack on Zhu Linyun. Zhu Linyun did not speak either. She folded her arms with a grim smile, looking down at Lin Kong, Wu Fei, and Zi Wang, three humble reptiles. She said slowly, "In this cruel end of the world, weakness is the original sin." At this moment, the three reptiles kneeling on the ground have become Zhu Linyun's playthings. Fang Guonan also noticed the movement here. He stood up and was about to come over to see the excitement. However, the next scene made Fang Guonan stand there in a daze. Lin Kong was kneeling on the ground, his expression changing in pain and confusion. Finally, he seemed to have made up his mind. Lin Kong raised his head resolutely. Miss Zhu Linyun, I want to survive." When saying this, Lin Kong slowly stood up. Zhu Linyun smiled slightly and said to Lin Kong, "Since you want to survive, then kill them both." But Lin Kong clenched his fists, and his face still showed a tangled and painful expression. Seeing this expression, Zhu Linyun felt very comfortable. The pain of others is her happiness. Zhu Linyun decided to continue to instigate Lin Kong to kill his two companions. However, as soon as Zhu Linyun opened his mouth, he suddenly found out, a dark green fist attacked directly at his abdomen. Looking at the color of the fist, Zhu Linyun was shocked to find out, "It was Lin Kong who attacked me?" Why did this garbage with a combat power of 5 dare to attack me? Why did this humble reptile even want to attack me? Why did the slowly licking dog have the courage to attack me? Looking at the incoming fist, Zhu Linyun's mind instantly had dozens of questions. As a level 4 new human, Zhu Linyun's reaction speed was naturally very fast. When Lin Kong's fist attacked Zhu Linyun immediately turned his hands to block the fist. Lin Kong's Triceratops was level 3, and Zhu Linyun was a level 4 new human. Although Lin Kong's fist was a sudden attack without any warning. However, snap! Zhu Linyun relied on his super-fast reaction speed to directly catch Lin Kong's fist. After resolving Lin Kong's sneak attack, Zhu Linyun was quite proud in his heart. As a tiny ant, you also want to shake the strong elephant. How ridiculous, pitiful, and sad. Zhu Linyun was about to mock Lin Kong. However, a very dangerous omen rose from Zhu Linyun's heart. As a level 4 new human, the sense of danger is also very sensitive. Zhu Linyun found that she seemed to be stared at by a poisonous snake. Suddenly, Zhu Linyun understood the source of danger, which was, Lin Kong's punch was too light. What does a punch with very light power mean? If you want to kill someone, of course you attack with all your strength. Then, the phenomenon of a very light fist means, this is a feint, this is a cover, the real attack on me is not this fist. When Zhu Linyun figured it out, It was too late. Lin Kong's other fist had already hit her heart. Zhu Linian's beautiful eyes widened, although this punch has not hit her heart. However, Zhu Linian has already felt the huge power contained in the fist. Damn, I'm done. Zhu Linian felt that her heart could definitely not withstand this punch. At the moment of life and death, Zhu Linian did not give up. She frantically mobilized her spiritual energy and gathered it at the position of her heart for defense. It can be defended. I can definitely defend it. Zhu Linian tried her best to defend this punch. However, the punch suddenly changed. The straight punch that was originally intended to hit the heart suddenly turned into an uppercut. This change was so sudden that Zhu Linian didn't have time to do anything. She was hit on the chin by this extremely insidious uppercut. Bang! A heavy impact sounded. Zhu Linian flew backwards like a kite with a broken string. Chapter 293. You fell down before you even tried? Why did Lin Kong's uppercut punch directly knock Zhu Linian away? In terms of level, the Triceratops is only a level 3 mutant beast, which is a whole level lower than the level 4 Zhu Linian. Theoretically, if Zhu Linian defended with all her strength, Lin Kong's uppercut punch would not be able to knock Zhu Linian away. However, there are 3 reasons why Zhu Linian was knocked away. First, Lin Kong pretended to attack Zhu Linian's abdomen with his left fist, and Zhu Linian's hands moved to the abdomen. You know, Lin Kong's sneak attack happened in an instant. Therefore, if Zhu Linian's hands came to the abdomen to defend, she would not have time to raise them to defend Lin Kong's right fist. The first reason is that Zhu Linian's hands did not have time to defend her chin. Then the second reason is, Lin Kong pretended to attack Zhu Linian's heart with a straight punch. Zhu Linian moved all her spiritual energy to the heart to defend. Because Zhu Linian is a level 4 new human, her abundant spiritual energy can defend against Lin Kong's straight punch attack. However, in this way, even if Zhu Linian found out that Lin Kong's real target was the chin, she would not have any extra spiritual energy to defend the chin. Finally, the third reason is, Lin Kong strengthened his fist. Lin Kong not only concentrated all the spiritual energy of the Triceratops in his right fist, moreover, he also transferred the hard short horns on the bridge of his nose to his fist. The fist with the short horns of the Triceratops is equivalent to wearing a weapon brass knuckles. The attack power has been greatly improved. In summary, 1. It led away the defense of Zhu Linian's hands. 2. It led away the defense of Zhu Linian's spiritual energy. 3. It also used the short horns to increase the attack power of the fist. The superposition of these 3 points allowed Lin Kong's full-strength uppercut to successfully hit Zhu Linian's chin. The chin was not protected by spiritual energy, and it immediately shattered when it was attacked. After Lin Kong's uppercut shattered Zhu Linian's chin, the matter did not end, because the force of the uppercut was still being transmitted upwards, and in an instant it rushed to Zhu Linian's brain. Because the brain is protected by the skull, the force contained in this uppercut was greatly weakened. However, the human brain is too fragile. Even though the force of the uppercut was weakened a lot, it still knocked Zhu Linian unconscious. After the brain fainted, it was naturally impossible to mobilize the spiritual energy, and it was impossible to use superpowers. In short, to put it simply, Lin Kong directly crippled Zhu Linian with one punch at the moment of the confrontation. After Zhu Linian was knocked away, her eyes rolled back, and she fainted on the ground, motionless. In the last second, the evil and arrogant Zhu Linian was still playing the horror game of only one of 3 people can survive. In the next second, she became a dead bitch lying on the ground. Fang Guonan, who was standing at the entrance of the hotel, was stunned when he saw this huge change. This, she, he stammered and couldn't say a complete sentence, his eyes full of disbelief. He looked at Lin Kong, who was dressed in dark green, and then looked at the sleeping beauty Zhu Linian on the ground. His mind, at this moment, was instantly not working. I don't understand. Fang Guonan couldn't figure out why Lin Kong could punch Zhu Linian, who was level 4, with one punch. Why was Lin Kong so cold-blooded and ruthless? Facing such a perfect woman, he could also be so cruel. Zi Wang was also stunned, and he also had an incredible expression, just Just one punch in a second? This is too fast. Zi Wang knew that Lin Kong was very fierce. However, Zi Wang didn't expect Lin Kong to be so fierce. He thought that Lin Kong would at least fight back and forth with Zhu Linyun, but he didn't expect that Lin Kong would knock Zhu Linyun down with one punch. Without any unnecessary movements or words, he just punched his opponent to the ground. Too fast. It was really too fast. Zi Wang was glad that his choice was right. The guy in front of him was definitely the chosen one. As long as I follow him unswervingly, I will definitely become rich and powerful and reach the pinnacle of my life. Zi Wang's eyes turned fanatical when he looked at Lin Kong. Wu Fei, who was standing aside, suppressed his excitement and pretended to be calm. TSK, I knew that this woman's strength could not stop a single move from Linda Benzhang. Wu Fei was a staunch supporter of Lin Kong. He never thought that Lin Kong would fail. Read the original text at Liu number 9/. He usually thought, did Linda Benzhang kill his opponent with one punch or two punches? Li Minutes looked at Zhu Linyun, who fainted in front of her, and she pulled out a dagger in a flash. Looking at Lin Kong, Li Minutes asked with her eyes. Lin Kong knew what Li Minutes wanted to do and nodded. With Lin Kong's permission, Li Minutes squatted down and raised the dagger towards Zhu Linyun's perfect face. Seeing this, Fang Guonan rushed over and shouted, "No, that's right." Li Minutes wanted to disfigure Zhu Linyun. Fang Guonan understood Li Minutes' next move and wanted to rush over to stop him. However, wow! A blue cold air shot at him. Crack, crack, crack! Fang Guonan's body was directly frozen into an ice sculpture. Lin Kong looked at Fang Guonan's ice sculpture with a smug smile on his face. Still want to save Zhu Linyun? Haha, this is impossible. My 7 black balls, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and Forest Pterosaur, a total of 3 generals, are all in a combat state ready to attack at any time. Even if Zhu Linyun is resurrected on the spot now, she is dead. Moreover, Lin Kong still has backup plans B and C that have not been used. Even if Zhu Linyun resurrected 3 or 4 times on the spot, she would never escape from Lin Kong's grasp. The reason why Lin Kong did not attack Zhu Linyun immediately before was to find out Zhu Linyun's true strength and Zhu Linyun's mental state. Since Zhu Linyun's strength was average and his mental state was extremely bad, Lin Kong had nothing to worry about. However, Lin Kong was a little reluctant. After a few seconds, Li Minutes had successfully disfigured Zhu Linyun. Lin Kong looked at Zhu Linyun's once infinitely beautiful face and lamented, "I haven't used up all my tricks yet, and you fell. Alas, you are the weakest enemy I have ever seen." At first, Lin Kong thought he had met the most dangerous enemy in history. After all, Zhu Linyun was so beautiful. When facing her, Lin Kong had to hold his breath to prevent inhaling her body fragrance. Lin Kong also had to keep cutting his back with a machete, causing great pain, in order to prevent himself from being confused. As a result, Lin Kong used only one punch to destroy such a beautiful and dangerous enemy. Lin Kong's other methods have not been used yet. Chapter 294 The killers will attack tomorrow. In the bank's safe, the 3 pink-coated gunmen have been carefully observing Lin Kong's various behaviors. Through the prediction of water of the future, the pink-coated gunmen knew that Lin Kong would not be killed by the group of needle giant mosquitoes. However, what the pink-coated gunmen did not predict was that Lin Kong actually defeated the mighty army of needle giant mosquitoes so easily. The pink-coated gunman predicted Zhu Linyun's failure, but he did not predict that Zhu Linyun could not even withstand a punch and directly lost his combat power and fainted on the ground. He knew that Lin Kong was growing very fast, but he did not expect that Lin Kong had grown to the terrifying point of directly killing a level 4 new human in seconds. Moreover, the pink-coated gunman also carefully discovered that this Lin Kong did not use all his means, and Zhu Linyun died directly. Hidden on the left side of Zhu Linyun, there is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and hidden under the hem of Zhu Linyun's skirt, there is also a small green pterosaur. Even after Zhu Linyun fainted and fell to the ground, the Tyrannosaurus Rex in the bushes was still secretly staring at Zhu Linyun. The green pterosaur even quietly climbed onto Zhu Linyun's shoulder, ready to launch a fatal attack again at any time. Seeing this, The pink-coated cannon man quickly took out a pen and paper to record it. While recording Lin Kong's personality traits and sneak attack methods, he also discussed with his two lovers, "This person is very meticulous. Moreover, he is not easily proud and careless. Even if the enemy has lost its combat effectiveness, he still does not relax his vigilance." After seeing those needle giant mosquitoes fleeing in panic, the coquettish woman and the plump woman were also much more relaxed, and they commented on Lin Kong in the water mirror. "My husband, if team leader Ma asks you to go on the field to deal with the dinosaur breeder, you must not go, because the dinosaur breeder's moves are too insidious." Although the plump woman usually always goes against the coquettish woman, but this time, she also agreed with the coquettish woman's words, and echoed the pink-clad man. "Yes, husband. This guy is too cunning. Almost every move is full of various speed changes. You must not fight him head-on." Just when he defeated Zhu Linian with one punch, he fooled Zhu Linian twice in an instant. The coquettish woman was a little puzzled. How could the guy who raised dinosaurs fool that bastard twice? The coquettish woman only saw the result of Zhu Linian being crippled by a punch, but the plump woman observed very carefully, and she saw the essence of Lin Kong's punch. The plump woman put the camera that she had been holding in her hand in front of the other two. She played the video of the fight in reverse, pointing at Lin Kong's movements and explaining, "Look. When he was attacking with his right fist, this guy's left fist was one step ahead, pretending to attack Zhu Linian's abdomen. Moreover, his right fist was not aimed at Zhu Linian's chin at first. Look carefully. This uppercut was actually pretending to attack Zhu Linian's heart at the beginning." The plump woman slowed down the speed of the fight video several times to explain Lin Kong's punch just now. After listening to the plump woman's well-reasoned explanation, the coquettish woman and the pink-clothed man looked at the video screen and the camera, and they all showed expressions of seeing a ghost. "Oh my God, I didn't know until I saw it. I was shocked. I thought he was just a simple punch. But I didn't expect that there were so many twists and turns in this punch. I didn't notice that he actually had such a sinister little detail. This man is really scary." The pink-clothed man quickly took a pen and recorded the two details of this punch. "This is all very valuable and important information. It will be very useful when dealing with Lin Kong in the future. By the way, Xiamen, you must protect this camera. I have to show these videos to team leader Ma." After the pink-coated cannon man finished recording, he carefully reminded the plump woman again. The plump woman nodded in agreement. Now, Lin Kong is the #1 enemy of the president, so the plump woman naturally dare not be careless. Thinking of Lin Kong's rocket-like growth rate, the pink-coated cannon man couldn't help but use "Water of the Future" to predict the arrival time of team leader Ma. The original text is available at Liu number 9 at book/bar. As a result, he worriedly discovered that team leader Ma and the more than 20 new human killers at the peak of level 4 would have to wait until tomorrow to arrive. Every second that arrives in the night, there is one more variable. Originally, the pink-coated cannon man thought that Lin Kong could not withstand the attack of team leader Ma and the 20 killers. However, when he found out that Lin Kong had crippled Zhu Linian with one punch, and when he understood that Lin Kong used self-mutilation to resist temptation, not so sure. The pink-coated cannon man was no longer sure. Can team leader Ma and the others successfully kill Lin Kong? Faced with this question, the pink-coated cannon man's "Water of the Future" could not be predicted. Because there were multiple level 4 new humans, there were too many variables. The pink-coated cannon man was just a level 3 new human, and he could not predict it at all. Moreover, when predicting the outcome of the battle between Zhu Linian and Lin Kong, the pink-coated cannon man found that "Water of the Future" encountered great resistance. The final predicted result was that Zhu Linian would lose miserably, and he could not predict the specific details of the battle at all, and he could not predict that there were so many mysteries hidden behind Lin Kong's simple punch. Of course, if these 20 new human killers were all level 3, the pink-coated cannon man could still predict it. Since he was not sure whether team leader Ma could kill Lin Kong, the pink-coated cannon man, out of caution, still activated the ability of "Water of the Future" and contacted the president. Although the president was really busy, he did not relax in the face of Lin Kong. a potentially dangerous enemy. So, when the pink-coated cannon man contacted the president again carefully, the president listened to the pink-coated cannon man's story very seriously and patiently. The president understood the pink-coated cannon man's concerns. However, he combined the strength of team leader Ma and the 20 level 4 killers and analyzed it, and found that the possibility of Lin Kong's death was very high. Therefore, the president did not add any additional killers to attack Lin Kong. Of course, in order to prevent his men from giving Lin Kong experience, the president still cautiously warned, once this Lin Kong shows any strange changes, second cannon, you must report to me immediately. I don't want my men to die in vain. Yes, President. Chapter 295 Centipede Attack. While the pink-coated gunman was contacting the president, on the street in front of the hotel gate, Fang Guonan stood there, his body shivering constantly. Following his gaze, he saw that Zhu Linian's graceful body had been pierced by several iron rods on the ground. The huge 7 black balls were spewing cold air, freezing Zhu Linian's body into an ice sculpture. Only the head was left. Fang Guonan looked at the goddess who was once high above, and turned into an ice sculpture in front of him, and his heart was broken. He wanted to rush over and fight with the strange black ball. He wanted to save Zhu Linian, but Fang Guonan could only shiver in place and dared not move a step, because Lin Kong, Li Minutes, Wu Feiang, and Zi Wang, the 4 of them surrounded Fang Guonan in front, behind, and on both sides. There was no escape at all. Even if he was not surrounded, Fang Guonan would not dare to escape. The wind god pterosaur and the hurricane pterosaur all disobeyed his orders. With just his feet, he could not escape the pursuit of Lin Kong and others. He could not escape, and he could not fight. Fang Guonan was really desperate, looking at the cold eyes of Lin Kong and others. After his life was fatally threatened, Fang Guonan's mind finally stopped indulging in Zhu Linian's beauty. He regained consciousness. With a thump, Fang Guonan knelt on the ground, kowtowed to Lin Kong and begged, "Please let me live. Everything I did was forced. This bitch abused me all day long and stepped on me with high heels. Look, my arms, stomach, back, thighs, are all covered with scars from high heels. Please rest assured that I will never retaliate against you." Fang Guonan begged with a sad face, rolled up his sleeves, pulled up his clothes, and showed the scars on his body to Lin Kong and others. Lin Kong looked at the many scars on Fang Guonan's body and did not feel strange, although there was a hint of sympathy in Lin Kong's eyes. However, if Fang Guonan had no use value, Lin Kong would still kill him directly. The reason why Lin Kong still kept Fang Guonan alive was for the special plants that Fang Guonan planted. Perhaps Fang Guonan had more exotic vegetables than the magic winter melon that increased spiritual energy. Thinking of this, Lin Kong slowly removed the liquid dragon armor on his face, revealing his original face. Fang Guonan's tears froze on his face. He stared at Lin Kong blankly, and said in shock, "Idiot, you, how come you were here?" "But, how could you?" The Lin Kong in front of him who crippled Zhu Linian with one punch turned out to be the idiot who bought his winter melon. "But, he bullied Lin Kong yesterday. How come this idiot suddenly became so fierce after a day?" Not only did he completely surpass his own strength, but he also easily defeated his goddess Zhu Linian. Fang Guonan looked at Lin Kong's face, and then at the strange black ball that had grown several times larger, with an incredible expression on his face. Only one day had passed, but Lin Kong's strength had changed so much. This made Fang Guonan feel extremely shocked. In fact, what Fang Guonan didn't know was that if he had gone a little too far yesterday, he would have been killed by Lin Kong. At this moment, Fang Guonan was once again on the verge of life and death. Lin Kong knew Fang Guonan's special talent in growing vegetables, so he handed the 9 rings sword to Fang Guonan. Lin Kong gave him a choice: chop off Zhu Linian's head and follow me in the future. If you don't agree, I will chop off your head. Lin Kong had to make sure that Fang Guonan was not confused by Zhu Linian before he dared to let him stay by his side. So, he let Fang Guonan kill Zhu Linian with his own hands. Fang Guonan held a 9-ring sword in both hands. As a level 3 new human, a 9-ring broadsword weighing only 50 to 60 kilograms is nothing. But now, Fang Guonan felt that the broadsword in his hand seemed to weigh several thousand kilograms. He held the handle of the knife, his hands trembling. He tried several times but failed to lift the 9-ring broadsword. Yesterday, if Fang Guonan dared to slap Lin Kong one more time, he would die. And today, if Fang Guonan did not kill Zhu Linyun, he would die. He once again came to the crossroads of life and death. I give you 3 seconds. If you don't do it, I will kill you immediately. Lin Kong did not waste any more words and directly gave Fang Guonan the final countdown. When Fang Guonan heard 3 seconds, he immediately exerted force with both hands and raised the 9-ring broadsword. The original text is available at Liu number 9/. He immediately stood up and walked towards Zhu Linyun. Although Zhu Linyun still exuded a unique fragrance at this moment, his face had been slashed by Li minutes. Zhu Linyun, with blood all over his face, no longer had the invincible appeal. Fang Guonan remembered the inhumane abuse he had suffered before, and suddenly he felt hatred in his heart. The reason why he enjoyed the abuse was because of Zhu Linyun's beauty, but Zhu Linyun had been disfigured, and those abuses only brought deep pain and resentment. Fang Guonan remembered Zhu Linyun's arrogant attitude towards him, and his dissatisfaction became more serious. His steps became faster and faster. There was less and less hesitation in his eyes. Fang Guonan's face showed a fierceness. His hands stopped shaking. At this moment, Fang Guonan remembered all the painful memories that Zhu Linyun brought to him. At this moment, even if Lin Kong didn't ask him to kill Zhu Linyun, he might take the initiative to chop off Zhu Linyun's head. At this moment, Fang Guonan was no longer the humble licking dog. Lin Kong, who was on the side, looked at Fang Guonan's transformation and nodded silently. He understood that as long as Fang Guonan chopped Zhu Linyun with a knife, he could completely get out of the shadow of being controlled. Tap, tap, tap. Fang Guonan walked quickly to the front of Zhu Linyun's head. A killing intent emanated from Fang Guonan's body. He raised the 9-ringed sword high and chopped towards Zhu Linyun without any hesitation. However, there was a sudden burst of stabbing pain on his forearm. Suddenly, the 9-ringed sword that Fang Guonan chopped down fell next to Zhu Linyun's head. Zhu Linyun escaped the disaster temporarily. Fang Guonan rolled up his sleeves to see what was on his forearm. It was a centipede. Dozens of centipedes as long as fingers were biting Fang Guonan's forearm skin with all their strength. How can there be so many centipedes? Fang Guonan circulated his spiritual energy and shook the centipedes on his arm. Although he could not beat Lin Kong, he was at least a level 3 new human. It was of course an easy task to deal with these ordinary centipedes that had not evolved yet. However, when he looked down, he found that the ground under his feet was surging. Then, more centipedes emerged from underground and rushed towards Fang Guonan fearlessly. Chapter 296. Are they eunuchs? On the street in front of the hotel, there were not only a large number of centipedes that came out from under the ground, but also rats that squeaked and came out from the holes around. This change made Fang Guonan's face change drastically. He quickly activated his superpower, communication with beasts, and communicated with the rats that rushed over. Soon, Fang Guonan understood the thoughts of these animals. They were all male animals, and they wanted to protect Zhu Linyun, the most beautiful female creature on the earth. They would not allow anyone to hurt the sacred and noble Zhu Linyun. Zhu Linyun was their goddess, and whoever dared to hurt her would fight to the death. Fang Guonan wanted to dissuade them and let them leave quickly. However, these rats and centipedes ignored Fang Guonan's request at all. They gathered around Zhu Linyun's body unswervingly, and if Fang Guonan dared to get closer, they would attack. Hey, Uncle Wintermelon, the 3 seconds have passed a long time ago. Can you please be faster? Lin Kong looked at the rats and centipedes on the ground without any nervous expression. A group of animals that have not evolved are just a mob. Fang Guonan heard Lin Kong's urging behind him, so he didn't dare to delay. From the eyes of those rats, Fang Guonan naturally understood that they were not even level 1 mutants. And the most effective weapon to deal with creatures below level 3 is suppression. Buzz tilde. The suppression power of a level 3 strongman emanated from Fang Guonan's body. So, those rats and centipedes were all motionless, as if they were hit by Sun Wukong's immobilization spell. Puff 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 tilde. Some rats with poor physiques vomited blood directly and died on the spot. Raising the 9-ring broadsword, Fanguonan took a step forward and aimed at Zhu Linian's neck, intending to chop off her head with one knife. But he failed again, because, swish, Zhu Linian, with blood all over her face, actually opened her eyes, looking at Zhu Linian, who suddenly woke up. Fanguonan was so scared that he quickly took a step back. After waking up, Zhu Linian found that Fanguonan actually wanted to kill her. Her voice was extremely cold. "Kneel down for this, queen." Hearing Zhu Linian's familiar overbearing voice, Fanguonan knelt on the ground reflexively, and even kowtowed his head. Dong dong dong. Fanguonan was extremely frightened. Why could Zhu Linian wake up from the dizziness after being beaten so miserably? Fanguonan was very confused, but Lin Kong on the side was not surprised, because Zi Wang had already seen everything that happened around Zhu Linian with his perspective eyes. Then, Zi Wang reported all the situations to Lin Kong. It turned out that the reason why Zhu Linian was able to wake up was all due to a small creature, ants. If you look down, you can find that there are hundreds of small black ants on the back of Zhu Linian's head, constantly biting Zhu Linian's scalp. While biting, those hundreds of ants are still calling Zhu Linian. These hundreds of ants were controlled by Zhu Linian's superpower, Queen of Beasts. Before she fainted, she knew she couldn't withstand Lin Kong's punch. However, Lin Kong's change of moves was too fast, and she had no time to resist. Zhu Linian only had time to control some ants to call her to wake herself up after she fainted. Her plan was successful. Although these ants were small in size, they were very useful. With the help of hundreds of ants, Zhu Linian really woke up from her dizziness. As soon as she woke up, she saw Fanguonan. As a result, Fanguonan, this wretched coward, dared to swing a knife at her. He was really courting death. After Zhu Linian said kneel down, she planned to get up and kill Fanguonan. Although Fanguonan still had great value, Zhu Linian was already overwhelmed by anger at this moment. She had to kill Fanguonan, immediately, right now. However, she wanted to get up, but found that she couldn't do it at all. She looked down. Not only was her body wrapped in a huge ice ball, but her abdomen and legs were all pierced with various iron rods. Except for her head, she couldn't move at all. Seeing the ice ball, Zhu Linian naturally understood that it was Lin Kong who did it. The original text is available at Liu number 9/. Before, Lin Kong used this trick to freeze Shen Zhu, but he didn't expect that he would use it on himself at this moment. Zhu Linian turned her head and looked at Lin Kong not far away. Her beautiful eyes glared, and she shouted angrily, "Lin Kong, you are so brave, how dare you do this to me? Hurry up and get down on your knees." However, Lin Kong didn't move at all. There was only a smug sneer on his face. "I say, sister, are you out of your mind? How dare you talk to me in this tone?" Zhu Linian saw Lin Kong's calm appearance, and suddenly remembered the fact that she was crippled by Lin Kong's punch. Because she was usually too arrogant, she didn't react in time. After she understood, Zhu Linian immediately wanted to kill Lin Kong. She ordered the surrounding wind god pteranodons, "Kill that lick dog for me." Now, Zhu Linian still thinks that all men in the world are lick dogs. Lin Kong is a man, so he is also a lick dog. However, she couldn't understand why Lin Kong, who was as humble as a dog, dared to attack her. It was really unforgivable. The wind god pteranodons must tear him apart. However, there was silence all around. After Zhu Linian gave the order, the wind god pteranodons had no intention of attacking Lin Kong. Could it be that these wind god pteranodons have been scared silly by the needle giant mosquito? So, Zhu Linian ordered the level 3 wind pteranodon to attack Lin Kong. The wind pteranodon had long been controlled by the forest pteranodon. Therefore, there was still silence all around. Zhu Linian was very angry. At the critical moment, these pteranodons actually all failed. There was no way. Zhu Linian could only order Wu Fei and Zi Wang to kill Lin Kong. "Kill him for me." Zhu Linian knew that her beauty would be a fatal temptation to all men in the world. Whenever it was his order, those lowly men would immediately rush to carry it out. For example, when they were short of clothes just now, Wu Fei and Zi Wang immediately flew to find clothes. Therefore, if they were asked to kill Lin Kong, Zhu Linian felt that they would not hesitate at all. Haha, Men are just tools. When Zhu Linian sneered in her heart, she was surprised to find that Wu Fei and Zi Wang did not make any attacking moves. Hutilda, a breeze blew, a yellow leaf blew onto Zhu Linian's face. Zhu Linian's mind was full of question marks. Oh my god, what's wrong with these men? Why don't they listen to me? Could it be? Have they all become eunuchs? Chapter 297 Fang Guonan reaches level 4. On the street in front of the hotel entrance, Zhu Linian's body was wrapped in a huge ice ball, and only her head could move. Zhu Linian had a face full of questions. Before, all those men were vying to please her, but now, they all don't listen to me. What's going on? She doesn't understand. Zhu Linian doesn't understand why the attitudes of these men are so different before and after. Sure enough, all men are unfaithful. Every good thing about men is that men are cheap. Zhu Linian, who has been spoiled since childhood, never looks for problems in herself, and never thinks about the real answers to the problems. She just shrewdly attributed all the questions to the men's own problems. Zhu Linian was full of anger. She wanted to kill Lin Kong. She wanted to kill Wu Fei and Zi Wang, who used to please her but now ignored her. She wanted to kill Li Minutes, a mediocre woman whose beauty was not even 1/10 of hers. She wanted to kill Shenzhou, who once threatened her, and she wanted to kill Fang Guonan, who just raised a big knife to her. She wanted to kill this one, she wanted to kill that one, but she couldn't do anything. She couldn't kill anyone. The air around them was still filled with the repressive force emanating from Fang Guonan's body. The male animals controlled by Zhu Linian were still in a state of stiffness and unable to move. Zhu Linian couldn't use her superpower, Queen of Beasts, to order these male animals to attack Lin Kong and his men. To put it another way, even if these ordinary animals that had not evolved could move and attack, they would not be able to cause any harm to Lin Kong. There was no way out. There was no way out. Zhu Linian had never been so desperate. She didn't want to believe what was happening in front of her. Why would I be defeated by a bastard like you? Why can you resist my temptation? I'm so powerful. Why would I lose to you? A piece of trash. Why does this world treat me so cruelly? Zhu Linian cursed at Lin Kong. She looked down on Lin Kong. She hated Lin Kong, and she wanted to tear Lin Kong into pieces. At the same time, Zhu Linian also hated this world and hated God's injustice to her. She was obviously the queen, but why did she fall into such a miserable end? Unwilling. Zhu Linian felt deeply unwilling in her heart. However, no matter how Zhu Linian roared and cursed, Lin Kong always looked calm and composed. He urged Fang Guonan, "Hey, uncle, you are still kneeling? Go and chop her." Fang Guonan, who was kneeling on the ground, was so scared because of Zhu Linian's anger that he dared not look up. But when Fang Guonan heard Lin Kong's urging, he finally discovered something gratifying. Zhu Linian had become a waste, and he didn't need to be afraid of her at all. That's right, she can no longer abuse herself with the heel of that high heel. As long as he kills her, he can walk out of her shadow forever and get rid of her control. From now on, he will no longer be that perverted uncle with masochistic tendencies. Thinking of this, Fang Guonan's eyes glowed brightly. On the ground next to his body, it was a 9-ring broadsword that had just fallen to the ground. Pa! Fang Guonan grabbed the 9-ring broadsword with a white blade. He stood up suddenly. Fang Guonan looked down at Zhu Linian's head. Zhu Linian also noticed Fang Guonan holding the knife, and she tried to control Fang Guonan again. "You wretched loser, kneel down." Zhu Linian said the word kneel down at the end of the sentence very seriously. When Fang Guonan heard the two words, his knees couldn't help but tremble. He wanted to kneel down reflexively, but Fang Guonan held back. He didn't kneel down. Holding the 9-ring broadsword tightly in his hand, Fang Guonan swallowed a mouthful of saliva and said firmly, "In the future, I will never kneel down to you again." After that, Fang Guonan felt that his brain was refreshed, as if he had been reborn. Finally, he stood up. When Fang Guonan's mind underwent a huge change. The original text is available at Liu number 9/. Suddenly, Fang Guonan's eyes burst into a fierce white light. This light was too bright to look directly at. Everyone used their spiritual energy to protect their eyes, so that they could see the changes in Fang Guonan. They saw it next to Zhu Linian's head. First, Fang Guonan's eyes emitted a strong white light. Then, Fanguonen's entire head also emitted white light. Finally, Fanguonen's shoulders, chest, abdomen, hands, legs and other parts all emitted white light. At this moment, the weeds on the ground around Fanguonen bent their waists, as if a special force was constantly bursting out of his body. Puff 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 puff. Originally, those mice with better physiques could hold on for a while. However, when Fanguonen's whole body glowed white, those mice vomited blood and died. The remaining centipedes and ants also stood up straight and died suddenly. Even Lin Kong and his people not far away felt that there was a strong power brewing in Fanguonen's body. They still didn't quite understand why Zi Wang had such a change. Only Zi Wang stared at Fanguonen's abdomen thoughtfully. He activated his perspective ability and saw the situation in Fanguonen's danshan. After counting Fanguonen's spiritual beads, Zi Wang couldn't help but exclaimed, "Brother Lin Kong, he seems to have broken through." Now, there are 4 spiritual beads in his danshan. Lin Kong's face was shocked. 4? Then this winter-melon uncle is now a new human at level 4. Thinking of this, Lin Kong immediately asked the Tyrannosaurus Rex hiding in the bushes to aim at Fanguonen. At the same time, he also focused his attention on Fanguonen to prevent Fanguonen from attacking everyone after his breakthrough. Zhu Linian saw Fanguonen's change and of course understood what was going on, because when Zhu Linian was promoted to level 4, his whole body was also glowing. After seeing Fanguonen become stronger, Zhu Linian's face was happy. Quick! Quick! Kill them for me! She quickly ordered Fanguonen to kill Lin Kong and his gang. However, Fanguonen's mind was transformed because he was free from Zhu Linian's control, which allowed him to be promoted to a level 4 new human. And now, Zhu Linian was trying to use Fanguonen as a liquor again. Obviously, this was impossible. Fanguonen decisively chopped it down. Swish! A white light flashed. Puff! Zhu Linian's neck was cut off instantly. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 298, Subjugating Fanguonen. Zhu Linian probably never thought that she would die in the hands of an old man with a square face. And this old man was used as a dog by her. She abused him as she wanted, and robbed him of the special vegetable she had worked so hard to grow. Zhu Linian's head rolled off her neck. Her eyes were rapidly losing the spirit of life. However, the unwillingness in Zhu Linian's eyes will never fade away. She is the most beautiful woman in the world. She regards all men as licking dogs and plays with them in the palm of her hand. However, she was beheaded by an ordinary old man with ordinary appearance. Oh, life is really ironic. Bang! After beheading Zhu Linian, Fanguonen accidentally dropped the 9-ring broadsword in his hand to the ground. He leaned over. Fanguonen quickly picked it up again. Holding the knife, Fanguonen walked quickly towards Lin Kong. Seeing this scene, Lin Kong was tense. Wu Fei, Zi Wang, and Li Minutes beside them also circulated their spiritual energy, ready to attack at any time. Swish tilde. The Tyrannosaurus Rex was quietly lurking in the nearby bushes. Once Fanguonen made any dangerous moves, the Tyrannosaurus Rex would immediately attack. At the same time, the small forest pterosaur also flapped its wings and flew silently above Fanguonen's head. As a level 4 mutant beast, it has a faster speed and higher attack power than a level 4 new human. Fanguonen had just been promoted to level 4. And he was completely unable to resist the attack of the forest pterosaur. Besides, Lin Kong still had the 7 black balls, 7 black freeze, which could freeze Fanguonen's movements. So, he was not afraid at all. Lin Kong was not afraid of Fanguonen's attack at all. However, to Lin Kong's surprise, Fanguonen did not attack at all. Fanguonen walked over quickly and handed the 9-ring broadsword in his hand to Lin Kong respectfully. "Thank you, idiot." It was Lin Kong who gave him the opportunity to kill Zhu Linian, which allowed Fanguonen's mind to transform and enter the realm of the new human being at level 4. Fanguonen was grateful to Lin Kong for this. Of course, Fanguonen also remembered that Lin Kong wanted to kill him and threatened him before. However, Fang Guonan was not like Zhu Linyun. He knew how to measure the strength of the enemy. Although Lin Kong had previously defeated Zhu Linyun with a single punch, relying on a sneak attack, Fang Guonan still did not dare to go against Lin Kong. He was watching the battle from the sidelines and naturally discovered the Tyrannosaurus Rex hiding in the bushes and staring at him. At the same time, Fang Guonan also knew that the newly born green pterosaur was definitely not weak in strength, at least a level 4 mutant beast. Combined with Lin Kong's forbearance in the face of Zhu Linyun, Fang Guonan knew that Lin Kong was a very powerful man. Therefore, Fang Guonan took the initiative to return the Nine Rings sword to Lin Kong. Seeing Fang Guonan's respectful expression, Lin Kong did not relax his vigilance. The huge 7 black balls had floated in front of Lin Kong, and aimed the end that emitted cold air at Fang Guonan. Then, Lin Kong ordered Ziwang, take the sword back. Ziwang activated the perspective eye, and he could see the changes in the spiritual energy in Fang Guonan's body. After careful observation, Ziwang found that the spiritual energy in Fang Guonan's body was quietly staying in the Danshan. If you want to sneak attack the enemy, you must first transfer the spiritual energy from the Danshan, because it takes time for the spiritual energy to circulate from the Danshan. Therefore, from the performance of the spiritual energy in Fang Guonan's body, Fang Guonan had no intention of attacking. However, Ziwang did not relax. He was only a new human at level 3, and facing Fang Guonan at level 4, he had to remain vigilant at all times. With the perspective eye turned on, Ziwang kept monitoring the changes in the spiritual energy in Fang Guonan's body. Once Fang Guonan mobilized his spiritual energy, Ziwang would immediately move away from him. Ziwang approached Fang Guonan cautiously. Fang Guonan looked at Lin Kong and Ziwang, who were still on guard, and knew that his choice was right. Fortunately, he was not an enemy of Lin Kong. Otherwise, if they attacked him in groups, he would definitely die. Ding ding ding. The original text is available at 6:9. Ziwang took the 9-ring broadsword, and the 9 steel rings on the back of the broadsword made a pleasant metal collision sound. This scared Ziwang. He quickly jumped back and quickly moved away from Fang Guonan. However, the spiritual energy in Fang Guonan's body did not move at all. Ziwang then realized that he had scared himself. Then, Ziwang handed the 9-ring broadsword to Lin Kong. While wiping the blood on the 9-ring broadsword, Lin Kong said, "Uncle, either follow me or die, you choose one." As soon as these words came out, the air around them solidified instantly. Fang Guonan looked directly into Lin Kong's eyes and found that Lin Kong was not joking. Lin Kong was serious. Fang Guonan thought for a while and spread his hands and said, "There is no choice at all. Okay, I will follow you from now on." Fang Guonan was very clear about his situation and finally agreed to Lin Kong. Lin Kong stretched out his hand, then hand over the spiritual energy bead. The spiritual energy bead is as important to the new human as the heart is to the body. Once the spiritual energy bead is destroyed, the new human's Danshan will collapse, the new human's body will also collapse, and then the whole body will bleed and die on the spot. Previously, Lin Kong took Lin Qingfeng's spiritual energy bead and controlled Lin Qingfeng for himself. But later, Lin Qingfeng still betrayed Lin Kong. But, in general, the method of using spiritual energy beads to control other new humans is still feasible. Fang Guonan was reluctant to hand over his spiritual energy bead, but he hesitated for a moment and finally pressed his abdomen lightly. As soon as his mind moved, he saw a white light flickering continuously at the navel position of his abdomen. Buzz tilde. There was a wave in the air. A snow-white spiritual energy bead slowly floated out from the navel position. Fang Guonan grasped the spiritual energy bead and asked Lin Kong, "You can have my spiritual energy bead, but you have to agree to one condition of mine." Lin Kong frowned. "What condition?" "Fang Guonan, you can't abuse me." Because of Zhu Linyun's cruel behavior of abusing him, Fang Guonan's psychology has been traumatized. He is very worried that Lin Kong is also a pervert. Lin Kong was a little surprised to hear Fang Guonan's request. He didn't expect Fang Guonan's condition to be so humble. Maybe other people's conditions are food, women, status, etc. But Fang Guonan's condition is Lin Kong is not allowed to abuse him. Chapter 299 Don't Call Me a Guawa. Faced with Fang Guonan's extremely humble conditions, Lin Kong decisively promised, I have absolutely no hobby of abusing others. But Fang Guonan did not immediately believe Lin Kong's words. He pointed at the dead Zhu Linian and questioned, but you just cruelly inserted iron rods into Zhu Linian's body and let that woman scratch her face, and that Shen Zhu, you didn't kill her immediately, just to save her life so that you can torture her slowly. Tell me, how do you explain all this? Because Lin Kong had just frozen Zhu Linian, Fang Guonan thought that Lin Kong had a bad habit of abusing humans. And the woman in Fang Guonan's mouth naturally refers to Li Minutes who disfigured Zhu Linian. Faced with the questioning, he was speechless for a while. He didn't expect Fang Guonan's mind to be so sensitive that he brought up the things about Shen Zhu and Zhu Linian to question himself. The surroundings fell into silence for a while. Seeing that Lin Kong didn't speak immediately, Zi Wang knew that he was in trouble. So, he stepped forward and said, I can prove that brother Lin Kong is a very kind person. He absolutely has no bad habit of abusing others. Well, I will use my personality to assure you. However, Fang Guonan did not loosen his hand holding the spiritual energy bead. Obviously, Zi Wang's assurance did not impress Fang Guonan. Seeing this, Wu Feng also came up. Our squad leader Lin is definitely a good person. When we were at the gathering place in the county, he was the one who went out alone to face the zombie army led by Zhu Shi. It was he who saved the entire gathering place, and he never abused anyone. Moreover, Zi Wang was going to kill squad leader Lin at the beginning, but Zi Wang was willing to follow him because of his action of saving the gathering place. So, don't worry, uncle. Squad leader Lin will never be like that poisonous scorpion woman Zhu Linian. Wu Feng explained sincerely, and Fang Guonan's palm loosened a little. Li Minutes saw Fang Guonan's expression that he was about to believe Lin Kong, so she also planned to say something good about Lin Kong. However, Lin Kong took a step forward, took out a machete, pointed at Fang Guonan, and said coldly, I just have a hobby of abusing others, so what? If you have the guts, just resist. Hearing Lin Kong's very impolite tone, everyone was shocked on the spot. It seemed that all the persuasion to Fang Guonan just now was in vain. Fang Guonan's idea was finally shaken. How could you directly admit that you have a tendency to abuse others, brother Lin Kong? If you say so, Fang Guonan will definitely not be willing to hand over the spiritual energy bead to you. Zi Wang cried out in his heart that it was not good. Sure enough, after hearing Lin Kong's provocation, Fang Guonan immediately clutched the spiritual energy bead in his hand, stepped back a few steps, and his face became alert. Lin Kong was not worried, but mocked him even more. Fuck, you are just a coward following Zhu Linian. Uncle, why are you pretending here? Hand it over quickly and stop struggling. Seeing that Lin Kong was not going to persuade Fang Guonan, everyone became alert to prevent Fang Guonan from really rebelling. However, to everyone's surprise, Fang Guonan's expression was quite angry. He cursed a few words in a low voice, and finally handed the spiritual energy bead in his hand to Lin Kong with an unwilling look. Zi Wang's perspective eyes always paid attention to Fang Guonan's physical changes and found that Fang Guonan's spiritual energy was still quietly staying in his danshan. This means that Fang Guonan looked reluctant on the surface. In fact, he did not have the courage to resist. Lin Kong grabbed the spiritual energy bead and sneered. Lin Kong looked at Zi Wang, and Zi Wang nodded to Lin Kong, indicating that Fang Guonan did not play any tricks. Finding that Fang Guonan really had no intention of resisting, Lin Kong walked to the remaining body of Zhu Linian and explained calmly, as long as you don't offend me, I will never abuse you. But if you want to hurt the people around me, I will definitely make you live a life worse than death. I will peel your skin, I will pull out your tendons, I will drink your blood, and I will eat your flesh. As he said, Lin Kong picked up an iron rod at his feet and inserted it into Zhu Linian's body again. Hearing Lin Kong's terrible words, Fang Guonan felt relieved. Because Lin Kong had obtained his own spiritual energy beads, there was no need to explain to himself, and there was no possibility of lying to himself. Although Lin Kong threatened to peel people's skin, pull out tendons, drink blood and eat flesh, The premise of all this was that this person hurt people around Lin Kong, and this premise was very important. Fang Guonan could see from this point that Lin Kong was a very loyal person. The original text is available at Liu number 9 / then, it might not be a bad thing to follow him. Anyway, Lin Kong is definitely 10,000 times stronger than that femme fatale Zhu Linyun. Now that Zhu Linyun is dead, Lin Kong no longer has to hold his breath. He can breathe freely. Huff huff tilde. Lin Kong's chest rose and fell, and fresh air was inhaled into his lungs. Lin Kong felt refreshed. Moreover, after taking a closer look, Lin Kong found that there was a hint of intoxicating fragrance in the fresh air around him. This fragrance was very much like the fragrance of roses. Wait, rose fragrance? Lin Kong suddenly thought of something. He stretched out his nose to smell Zhu Linyun's body carefully, and was shocked to find that even though Zhu Linyun was dead, there was still a constant flow of intoxicating fragrance emanating from his body. What a goblin! Lin Kong stretched out his foot and kicked the ice ball containing Zhu Linyun directly away. After the ice ball flew far away, the fragrance around slowly disappeared. Turning his head, Lin Kong said to Fang Guonan, "By the way, I have a condition as well." "Ah, idiot, what is your condition?" Fang Guonan was rather puzzled. "I have even given you the spiritual energy bead, and you can end my life at any time, but you still have to ask me for a condition." But Lin Kong's condition was not something tricky or harsh. On the contrary, it was very simple. "My condition is that you are not allowed to call me idiot." Lin Kong's expression was very serious, and it was obvious that he had been resentful of the title of idiot for a long time. Fang Guonan nodded at Lin Kong. "Okay, idiot." "Damn, you still call me that?" Lin Kong's eyebrows showed a hint of displeasure. With a thought, the 7 black balls next to him immediately shot. 7 black freeze. Over. Fang Guonan had no defense at all and was shot right in the face. Tilde. In an instant, Fang Guonan was frozen into an ice stick by the blue cold air. Chapter 300, Eating Watermelon. After Fang Guonan was frozen into an ice stick, he was shocked and thought that Lin Kong was going to kill him. The spiritual energy in his body began to circulate crazily, and he shook it hard. Pa, pa, pa. The ice on his body fell off. Although all the ice on the surface of his body was removed, Fang Guonan found that there was still a chill in his body. This chill made Fang Guonan shiver. He quickly used his spiritual energy to dissolve the chill in his body. After the negative effects of his body were removed, Fang Guonan angrily shouted at Lin Kong, "You idiot! Are you going to break your promise so soon?" Fang Guonan thought that Lin Kong was going to kill him, but because his spiritual energy bead was in Lin Kong's hand, he did not rush to fight Lin Kong. Lin Kong did not explain, and his mind moved again. 7 black frost. Activate. The blue cold air attacked Fang Guonan again. This time, Fang Guonan was prepared, and he quickly jumped away and avoided this attack. Lin Kong did not continue to attack. He waved his hand, and 7 black balls flew to his side. Lin Kong said helplessly, "Uncle, please don't call me a fool anymore, otherwise, I might accidentally crush your spiritual energy beads." Fang Guonan looked at Lin Kong and saw that there was no murderous intent in his eyes. Combined with the cold air sprayed by the strange black ball, he thought about it. He immediately understood that Lin Kong did not really want to kill him. If Lin Kong really wanted to kill him, he would let the strange black ball directly spray multiple blue cold air to freeze himself into a big ice ball. The cold air of the strange black ball just now only froze himself into an ice stick. Besides, if Lin Kong was determined to kill him, why bother so much? Just crush the spiritual energy beads directly. Fang Guonan figured this out, and he knew that Lin Kong was just joking with him just now. Therefore, after hearing Lin Kong's request, Fang Guonan thought about it and said, "Okay, I won't call you that anymore. I'll call you Lin." "Well, Lin, that's fine." Lin Kong nodded. Finally, he could get rid of the ugly title of idiot. After dealing with Zhu Linyun, Lin Kong had to clean up the battlefield. Previously, he had killed tens of thousands of needle giant mosquitoes. After those needle giant mosquitoes died, the 7 black balls kept sending hunger signals to Lin Kong. Because he just needed to deal with the difficult Zhu Linyun, Lin Kong was not in a hurry to absorb the soul mist liquid of the needle giant mosquitoes. Now that the biggest enemy Zulinion has been dealt with, Lin Kong has subdued another level 4 new human Fanguonan. Now, the 7 black balls finally have the opportunity to absorb the soul mist liquid. You can see the skull inside the 7 black balls emitting an excited blue light. Lin Kong found the body of a needle giant mosquito and dissected it with a machete. After a thorough inspection, a white crystal was dug out from the head of the needle giant mosquito. Judging from its appearance, it was a level 3 mutant soul core. Lin Kong looked at the corpses of the needle giant mosquito scattered all over the ground. If there was a level 3 mutant soul core in the head of each needle giant mosquito, wouldn't I be rich then? Lin Kong looked around, as if he saw a field of gold, but there were too many mosquito corpses. If Lin Kong dug alone, he didn't know how much time would be wasted. So, Lin Kong turned around and said to Zi Wang, "You have a radio device. Contact the 9 level 2 new humans and ask them to come over and dig the soul core." "No problem, I'll do it right away." Zi Wang trotted to the back of the wind pterosaur and took the radio device. Lin Kong didn't understand those strange devices, only Zi Wang could use them. Now that there are 4 more wind god pterosaurs and 1 wind pterosaur, those 9 level 2 new humans don't have to take trucks and motorcycles. They can ride the pterosaurs with Lin Kong at high speed. For Lin Kong, whose entire team is at level 3, the level 3 spirit cores of the needle giant mosquitoes are no longer very useful. However, for the 9 level 2 new humans, they are of great use. 2000 level 3 spirit cores can allow a level 2 new human to be promoted to level 3. The original text is available at LU number 9/. If these 9 level 2 new humans are all promoted to level 3, then they will also become a good force. In order to deal with the powerful and numerous presidents, Lin Kong must gather all the forces he can. After dealing with the mosquito corpses, Lin Kong's next task is to find a way to be promoted from level 3 to level 4. Shenzhou is a level 4 new human, and so is Fanguonan. Maybe these 2 people can know some ways to be promoted. Zulinion is dead, so Lin Kong doesn't need to trap Shenzhou anymore. He let the Tyrannosaurus Rex spit out flames to melt the ice on Shenzhou's body. Shenzhou is a level 4 warrior with excellent physical fitness. It is impossible for a mere ice to freeze her to death. However, when all the ice on her body melted, Shenzhou still looked half dead. Seeing her guilty look, Lin Kong estimated that this girl may not have gotten over the shadow of killing her zombie friend. Lin Kong is not a psychologist, so he naturally doesn't know how to comfort Shenzhou. Even if Lin Kong knew, he would not have time to waste on Shenzhou. Seeing Shenzhou's zombie-like appearance, there is no need to ask. Even if he asked, Shenzhou probably couldn't say a complete sentence. "Hey, Shenzhou, I still have a lot of things to do, so I won't care about you." After Lin Kong threw down this sentence, he left Shenzhou directly. Even if Shenzhou was dragged away by the mutant beast, Lin Kong would not care about her anymore. Since Shenzhou was unreliable, Lin Kong could only ask Fanguonan for help. "Hey, uncle, how did you get promoted to level 4 just now? Is there any trick?" Fanguonan was holding a knife and digging out the mutant spirit core of the needle giant mosquito. Hearing Lin Kong's question, Fanguonan scratched his head. This. "I don't know either. I just got promoted suddenly." Fanguonan was telling the truth. If he knew how to get promoted to level 4, he would have gotten promoted long ago. Sudden promotion. This is a common event for most survivors. According to Zi Wang's description, most ordinary people will suddenly become new humans after being stimulated by some kind of intense stimulus. For example, a classmate accidentally killed his beloved English teacher, and then he suddenly became a new human. For example, walking on the road, stepping on dog shit, and being angry. This person suddenly got promoted. This method of sudden promotion is random and cannot be applied to anyone at all. Therefore, Fanguonan's promotion just now was just good luck. Just when Lin Kong was feeling lost, Fanguonan's eyes lit up and he suddenly thought of something. Maybe eating a watermelon can help me advance to level 4. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.